What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 8 for Tuesday, April 26th. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Z, and joining me, fresh off our Easter break, is the Birdman himself, Logan B. What's up, my man?
What's up, everybody? It's been a while. Exciting 2 weeks. A lot of things to talk about. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Perfect, I will do. So, like always, we start with a random question. This week's question: if you could be any video game character, Mr. Birdman, who would you be and why? I already have my answer completely figured out, so I'll just let you go.
Dang, right on the spot.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I wrote the question, so.
That's fair. Let me think of this real quick. How about you go with yours first, since you already know, and I'll think about mine while you say this.
That is fair. Yeah, I was kind of putting you on the spot. So, if I could be any video game character, I thought about this, and I went to a couple ones. Obviously, one of the first ones I thought of would be Kratos, but then I was like, man, that guy's life's kind of rough, huh? He's been through a lot of shit. Yeah,
it's pretty rough.
And then I was like, okay, what is some other humanoid characters? I thought about Master Chief, but that life seems pretty rough. You're the last of your kind. You have no nothing pretty much. So I kept thinking. I went to unhumanoid for a little bit, but I was like, man, I don't know if I really want to be Crash Bandicoot or anything like that. That seems dizzying. So I settled on the most obvious choice. I would love to be Nathan Drake.
That's fair.
Dude, how cool is that guy's life? And also, how cool is his life? He gets the love of his life, and he gets a child.
Yeah, and he.
Sorry, spoiler alerts. Spoiler alerts for the end of episode 4. Episode 4. Jesus, I'm in Star Wars mode still. Spoiler alert for the end of Uncharted 4. But yeah, Nathan Drake's life is. I mean, it's kind of sad and depressing at the very beginning, but once he becomes an adult, it's so cool. He gets to do all this. He gets to do all this cool stuff, see all these cool things, and then at the end, he gets everything that we all want in life. A peaceful ending.
Extremely smart, and he does a lot of all the exploring and puzzle solving.
And he's good.
Just how badass he is too when it comes to fighting.
And he's good looking. Good. That'd be nice to experience for once.
That's true.
Yeah,
exactly.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice to experience being good looking for once. So yeah, I thought that was the easiest answer once I thought about it for 5 minutes. So
man, you got that right out of 5 minutes. For me, that's a hard question. That's a really good one too. I'm
gonna let you know I thought of it about 25 minutes ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I was playing the game I was playing. I was like, oh, this would be a good one.
I guess who I would be if I had to choose any video game character out there.
Can I tell you the one that I was going back and forth? Once I kind of settled, I really was trying to figure out 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided that I wanted to limit myself to video game origins because it was Nathan Drake or Spider-Man. So. But I decided to eliminate superheroes in my own personal because I was like, let's just keep it to video game origins. Because if we expand it past that, it gets a little crazy.
I would say Geralt of Rivia.
Geralt would be a cool one.
Yes. I mean, yes, he had a bad past, and it really sucks. But he is such a badass. And
Speaking of that,
a lot of exploring, and he does a lot.
Have you watched the Netflix prequel that I told you? Or not prequel?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
I loved it.
Dude, it was so
awesome.
Good. That ending was sick as fuck, dude. Oh, sorry. Can't say the F word.
There was a lot of...
Sick as could be. What? You didn't hear
it? There was a lot of questions we at the end, but there's a good theory. Because if you watch Season 2, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear it, cut in another 10 minutes in.
10 minutes? How long are we going to be talking about The Witcher?
I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm just in case. Just in case. I'm not saying it is going to be 10 minutes. But basically... there's a lot more Witchers there, and there was only 4 or 5 Witchers at the end of that one, but there was 12 of them, but there is a good theory someone put out there which does make sense. Not all the Witchers were probably there at the time of that whole thing happening.
Yeah, I mean,
so it makes sense because some of them look older than Geralt and all that. So I would probably assume maybe they just weren't there. So I can give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's what it is, you know. But I loved it though. It was super good. But yeah, I think he would be a really cool character. I mean, he obviously he's attractive. He gets quite a bit of ladies. So I mean, and he's really cool. He has awesome powers. He can he just is super smart and knows how to defeat all these monsters and stuff. I don't know. It's just interesting. He's not a very depressing character. He's like, you know, like he has no feelings too, so he just doesn't give a shit, which is just
Yeah.
cool. Maybe I said that a little too early, but who cares?
We both did. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like
Let's be
he's
honest.
cool.
YouTube isn't caring about our 24 views.
That's fair. That's true.
To those of you though,
But
to those 24 out there, thank you. We appreciate you.
yeah, we actually do really appreciate it. I'm hoping everybody's enjoying it. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Girl in Rivia. I think he'd be a cool video game character to be. I don't know. He's just interesting.
So we got Geralt and Nathan Drake. Here's the thing. I feel like I could be Nathan Drake, obviously, if it was a little bit more realistic and not the major jumping. I feel like I could pull that off. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
If you probably train yourself enough, you could probably do it. I don't know if
Okay.
you could pull off everything he does. Like some of those things are quite unrealistic. He would
Well,
definitely
yeah,
pull it
okay.
off.
Well, no,
But
that's what I'm talking about. It had to be a little bit more in the realm of realism of being able to pull these things off. But I feel like I could be a treasure hunter if I had the knowledge and all that.
oh yeah,
I
and
have
you're
the
good at puzzles.
physicalness,
You seem to have the smarts for puzzles. I don't, so I
and
know I could do it.
I can rock climb. I can do all the other stuff. Like I'm pretty physically fit to be able to do that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just posturing.
The only other person I want to pick was probably Spider-Man, but that's like just a hero thing. And but his background is so depressing, and him having to push away his life doesn't make me want to be him. But he is cool.
Him having to forget everybody or know that everybody forgets him.
Yeah, that's
That's
just that sounds really depressing.
that's the
That
newest.
sounds horrible.
That's the newest interpretation
Yeah.
of this. So, all right. Well, if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the XP Podcast. It is our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast where me, Logan, myself, and sometimes some other people like to sit down and talk about all the video game news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every Tuesday. Sometimes we miss a Tuesday or two, depending on holidays. So you can listen to it throughout your work week. You can find us on most of your popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here, please support us on a Patreon where you can be a part of the weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below. If you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry, we still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of our growing community. I want to give a shout out to our platinum Patreons for this month, Mr. Logan Leffler. Thank you, as always, we appreciate it. If for some reason you want to see our shiny faces, we're still working on it, but you can go over to our YouTube channel where you can get this show in video format. If you do, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. With all that out of the way, let's get into today's show. In the news this week, we're talking about that Cyberpunk expansion, a bunch of Star Wars news, ads are coming to video game consoles, and much, much more. But, as always, before we get to all that, it's time for what you've been doing and strap in, because this is probably going to be a long one. We got 2 weeks to catch up on. This is where we catch up on all the things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, and comics. Doesn't matter to us, because we're nerds, and we enjoy it all. So with that being said, Mr. Logan Birdman, how about we do this? Since I know we both have a lot to talk about, how about we go games, and then we talk about movies that we both seen after that, and we just kind of go back and forth instead of giving like entire one side and the entire next side, because that would take forever.
That works for me.
Okay, so start with the games.
All right. Games, at least it isn't that long. I mean, I've only really been playing both Lego Star Wars and Cyberpunk. I did end up actually completing Lego Star Wars. I did a few side activities. I haven't played it in a while. The biggest reason why and the biggest disappointment, I don't know if you haven't fully beat it yet, right, Mike?
No, I literally just finished episode 8 this morning. So I'm
Okay.
going on to episode 9.
The very disappointing thing that I learned very quickly after beating it is if you go to free play mode, you can't actually fully play the campaigns again. You can only play the certain actual mission parts,
Oh yeah,
which is
yeah.
extremely annoying to me and kind of disappointed me a lot. It made me stop playing it because, like, yeah, I like going. Like, me and Amy did go to a couple of worlds and we did do some side quests, and they were really fun, and we did something. But it just disappoints me that there was like I wanted to go back and play with her on free play and actually play the whole campaigns again, but you can't. You can only play, and literally you just can't. Like, there's no way possible unless you start a new game.
I was like,
Uh,
is the new game plus at all?
nope.
Oh.
Nothing. And that's what disappoints me a lot. Like, it really, I hope they update that because I think that is honestly, that's even more than my complaint about the open worlds not having enemies. That's even more disappointing. Like, I want to go back and replay them, and I wanted to play them as the characters I unlocked because I played a few missions, like it's fun. But if you go to Phantom Menace and you play the first mission, it's going to jump you all the way to the fish section. So you're missing a huge section of that beginning part, and you're jumping straight into that fish level. You cannot play any of that other side stuff. You can't play the whole going to the ship and doing all that. None of that. You won't even see that cutscene ever again. It's all gone. You're stuck, and you can only play the
I
missions,
mean, yeah, but
which really
from a game design perspective, that makes a little bit of sense because those sections are like the different pieces that are that are being like constructed and sewn together to stitch the narrative together, to
well,
stitch
that's the thing.
the
I wish they gave
actual.
you two options. They should give you two options. One, you play the whole story again, you could do it in free play. That would be great. Then, if you just want to get those bricks and the mini kits and all that, add those missions. That's fine. I get that. I know why they did that. But the fact that you can't, like, you literally can't go back and play the story missions again. The only thing you could do is just go to those sections. That's disappointing.
Well,
Because especially since
you can play the story missions. You just can't play the things interspersed in between them.
yeah, well, I
Yeah,
mean, but that's still missing things. Like, you're
yeah.
missing cutscenes and very fun things about it that I would like to replay again that you just can't do again. Like, they're just gone. You literally just get to only play those sections. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it takes a big portion out of some of them, and it's kind of sucky. So again, I'm hoping they fix it. But I did beat it, and hopefully soon we will make a review about it.
I
I
already have
still
my
liked
score,
it.
so
I already have my score set up too and
yeah.
everything. I already wrote out everything.
I'm
But
not gonna write anything out. I'll let you be the lead. I'm just gonna give them my score and my opinions. Maybe they differ from you. Maybe they don't differ from you. But whatever it is whatever you think it gets. Is what it gets.
I
Because
did do a capital ship though, and that was
oh,
fun.
did you finally find one?
Oh, dude, it was awesome. It was super cool.
I
I loved it.
wish.
The only issue is I didn't have the money to buy it. It was 3 million, and I didn't have 3 million at the time.
Oh, dude. See, I
But I
gotta
want to buy it.
see. I have been. There's a trophy called "Get 10 billion studs." So I have pretty much not done anything, bought anything most of the way through the story, and I've just bought the multiplayer. So I'm up to a times 48 multiplayer.
Jeez,
Dude,
goodness.
I went back and played oh, the episode 7 one, the one where you blow up the Star Killer base. I don't remember the name of the episodes. It's the one where you play as Poe, and you get a lot of coins just by blowing everything up.
Yeah.
I got like 3 million coins in the first like 10 minutes of that mission.
Well, dude, no, the in episode 9 there's a mission that's very up there for a lot of people. It's like the first mission I believe in the game, and it literally is like known to give you the most coins. So you're going to love episode
Oh
9
yeah,
cuz
I
the
can't
very
wait.
beginning is going to give you a crap ton. Like, it is known to be very easy and super easy to get a ton of coins cuz like everything, like you're in a ship and you're just destroying everything and you just get constant coins the entire mission. So, you're gonna love that mission. You're gonna get a lot of coins. But other than that, to move on because it's gonna be a long one.
No, you're good.
I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring again. Had to take there. We'll be talking about TV shows and that later. I've been taking some breaks because I definitely have gotten to the hardest part of the game now, and it is very difficult, extremely difficult. I beat a lot of bosses. I fought probably so far, in my opinion, the hardest boss so far, and his name is Malekith, ah, the Beast. I hated him so much. I died 50 times to this guy. I was level 120, I believe. This dude, he was a whole nother level. I don't think I've ever fought a boss like him. He just does not back down. I mean, there was a couple times where I just entered in and he killed me right when I entered in. Just entered in dead. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna go back in and try again. That was basically how it was. And I also had I got to a point where I was starting to, try to summon people to help me. They got obliterated in like 2 seconds, and I'm like, well, yeah, this boss is insanely hard, and it took me 3 days to finally defeat him. I tried for a couple hours one day. I stopped because I was getting extremely mad, like extremely mad. Stopped, played it another day, got extremely mad, and then the third day I decided, all right, I'm gonna go explore and do some things. I came back, fought him again, took another 10 more tries, and then on that 10th try, I finally beat him, and it was like a slither of like barely beating him. It was so hard. And after that, I beat two more story bosses. I beat I don't remember his name, but it's like this big snake creature that was really fun. I also beat Mog, the Lord of Blood. I beat him. That was really cool. And I beat actually I beat another boss too. The boss you have to beat before the final boss. It is the first Elden Lord himself with his beast, and I beat him after dying 30 times. And now I am finally on the final boss. But I have some things I still need to do. I haven't beat Melina. Don't know where she is. I thought she was a must play boss. No, she is a optional boss. And that made me kind of sad. So I'm gonna go and try to find her and defeat her. But it's gonna take a while. Because there's also another section of the map I haven't opened up yet, which I'm confused about. I don't know how to get there. I've been talking to my one friend trying to figure out things because he's been playing it longer than I have. But yeah, um, I'm getting pretty close though, and I'm really excited to finally get there and beat it. I'm gonna be sad after I beat it. I know I am, but even though I've been getting really angry with some of these bosses, I'm gonna miss this game. This game has been amazing, and I'm really excited to put my review out for it and get my full opinion on it after officially beating the game. I'm at 77 hours, I believe, now in the game.
Hey, one
So
one of the guys that I watch, it took him 169 hours to beat it his first time.
yeah, I'm getting there though. Literally, I'm Molina, I think, and the final boss, and that's it. And those are the story bosses. There are some other bosses that I probably missed because there's some that you have to do story side quests, and the side quests are kind of confusing because if you don't look up walkthroughs, you're never going to understand where half the stuff is, or you're probably not even going to remember what they said because they don't give you anything to remember what they said,
Thank
which will
you,
be in my
From
review.
Software.
That will
I
be in my
mean,
review about it, but it's more of a nitpick more than anything, but it still
uh,
kind of sucks.
see, I
But
disagree. That's one of the biggest reasons why I don't praise and love From Software games. It's like because they're just too, what's the word? Obscure at points to like stick with me. To like people are like, oh, there's great stories if you read all the individual item descriptions. I'm like, that's not a story then.
I wouldn't say the story's great. I mean,
Well, no, I was
it's
just talking in
more.
general from soft games. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the lore of Bloodborne is phenomenal, and you can learn all kinds of different, really cool, interesting stuff through item descriptions and character interactions and these other things. But it's one of those things that I'm not being told a story, which is the reason why I play games. I'm having to go out and look for the story.
yeah.
That's not why I play games.
That's fair.
But I do respect the games for what they are.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, that's been Elden Ring for me. I've been playing a lot of it, getting there. Hopefully, in the next 12 hours, I beat it finally. We will see, and I'll probably maybe do a new game plus, possibly. We'll see how I'm feeling by the end of it, but um, I'm excited to finally get to the review. I mean, I've been taking my time with this game, so I'm surprised I'm only at 77 hours and I'm at the final boss. I was kind of surprised about that. I thought it was going to take me 120 hours easily because I've never played a From Software game, never really been good at all the other ones. So this is my first time actually getting to this point and actually, about to beat my first From Software game ever. So kind of excited about it. And I did try the final boss a couple tries. I tried to beat him like 25 times. He demolished me every time. I got him to half health in his second phase, but I kind of was like, man, maybe I should probably take a break and try to fight these other bosses I haven't defeated yet. So, yep. Hopefully, I'll have an update by next week. Maybe we'll see if I'm closer to officially beating the game. But yeah, I would say that's about it for games this week.
All right.
What
Well,
about you, Mike?
I want to start off by saying I sent you a clip in Discord, and while I'm talking about it, I want you to pull up. This is one of the things I did the PC side of my gaming life. There was a guy. He is an actual video game developer. He went out and he made a mod on the Unreal Engine 5 Matrix demo, and he made a Superman mod. And I can tell you that if someone doesn't take what this guy did, take these controls and the way it feels, and apply this to a Superman video game within the next 5 years, I am going to find a place and burn it down. I don't. I'm I'm gonna riot. I've never been the guy to get out there and what have signs and picket and what's it called? I don't know, when people feel strongly about a topic and they want people to know. Um, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to think of the word.
Yeah, I can't think of the word.
I really can't think of it right now.
It usually leads to riots, but
I guess like I don't really know.
I don't know.
I guess riot. That's
I've
pretty much the only thing I can think of.
I've never been the guy to go out on demonstrations and do stuff like that, but I mean, I want a fucking Superman game that was done well, and that's thing. I was actually thinking about it, and a couple weeks ago we talked about how I'm really not that super stoked for the Suicide Squad game, mostly because the biggest rumor was Rocksteady was making a Superman game, and I was super hyped for that. And now that we know that they're not, I'm kind of at a little bit of a letdown. I'm like, well, I want a damn Superman game. But anyway,
Dude, that game looks awesome. I was like, I mean, it's not game, but the demonstration
dude,
of them showing that,
I
just the flying looks good. Obviously, there's a lot of things that need to be added, but still, just the flying
oh,
looks awesome.
I mean the fact that this was done by one guy, he was managed to figure out he has managed to figure out Superman flight, which is the biggest hurdle that teams of 200 people can't figure out. Do you remember that Superman Return games for the Xbox 360 back in
I think
06?
so.
Oh, it was awful. And then
Isn't that the
obviously,
one where he goes through rings, or is that the old
no,
Batman?
that's
Or
Superman.
Superman.
That's Superman 64. That's one of the most infamous games of all time. Also
Going
one of the
through
worst
rings.
games of all time. And I truly believe because of Superman 64 is still the reason why people haven't legitimately tried another Superman game. But anyway, so
That's
yeah,
fair.
I downloaded that. Had to do some weird PCing to get it to actually open up and run and everything. And obviously, it's not optimized or everything like that. So, like how games have loading screens.
Yeah.
When they're loading, this game doesn't. This HTML file, Jesus, doesn't. So you boot it up and you have to sit there and just wait for like 2 minutes as it loads everything in. And you're just like sitting there looking at everything load in. So, but it's something that's really cool. And my computer, while being a good to decent computer, does not have a 3090 in it, and man, this thing caused it to chug at points. it was it was screaming my GPU. So, but it was really cool, really fun. Played it for like 20 minutes. Another thing is this game called Undefeated, which is actually what I was playing right before we got on. And it is a small free-to-play project made by three Japanese dudes, I believe. And it came out in 2017, 2018 or something. They were in a video game school and they made this game called Undefeated. And it essentially is a Superman game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I downloaded that. It's free to play on Steam. I downloaded that, and I actually played it and beat it yesterday, but I was just getting on and flying around the world today, waiting for you and all that. And yeah, it's like maybe 30, 40-minute experience, but man, it's fun. It was a good time. And then other than that, it's just been Lego Star Wars. Says finished episode 8, which by the way, I found a part that I dislike more than the pod race and the force speeder levels.
What's that?
Ah, dude, Captain Phasma's boss fight is one of the worst boss fights I've ever played in a video game.
I mean, that's fair. It was kind of lame,
Dude, it was awful. I'm
honestly.
like
It
this.
was
I
just
mean,
lame.
to be fair, it mirrors the actual fight in the movie, so I
Yeah,
guess
it
maybe that's what
does.
they were going for. But I was playing it, and I was like,
That's why
this.
I think episode 8 was the most boring one of all of them, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, but okay. I was sitting there playing the games, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, comparing the stories to the movies. I don't want to do too much because I do want to sit down and I want us to do like a 3-part retrospective review on Star Wars. So like we do the original trilogy, then the prequel trilogy, then the sequel trilogy, and we just sit down for a couple hours and just talk about everything positive, everything negative about it. What do you think?
No, I'd be down for that.
Okay, we might even invite DJ to it. He likes Star Wars. So, but it playing this game did get me to think about all that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, it pisses me off a lot, but we'll get into that. But that's it. So I'm enjoying it. My opinion on the game hasn't changed, which I think is the biggest complaint I have. Is like I know what this game is. I knew what it was going into it, and while it does some different stuff, it's still I said still a Lego game. Said it may be the greatest Lego game ever made, but Lego games have a ceiling, at least for me. So and that ceiling is exactly the score that I gave it because I think it as a Lego game, I don't know if anything else could do it better. But it is still a Lego game which, can only go so high on my rating scale.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, I don't really know if that's a fair assessment of the game, but like it is what it is for me. When we review these games and we talk about these games, it's all, what we think personally, so but yeah, I already have my score. I have my positives, my negatives, so I'm ready to go whenever you want to sit down and record a review. But let's go back and forth. So one movie, I'll get one movie, you get one movie or TV show, and we'll just go back and forth until we're done. So why don't you start us off with what you've been watching?
Um, so I guess I'll start recently, as of yesterday. Um, I went to the drive-in with my brother and his wife, and we went to go see the new Fantastic Beast movie. I don't remember the name of the movie was, to
Secrets of
be honest.
Dumbledore.
Secrets of Dumbledore. Um, I went in with super low hopes because again, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but I did like Fantastic Beasts 1. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a good beginning to end movie, and that's why I liked it. I thought it was interesting, and I mean, it's not my favorite kind of movies, but I still liked it. And I've watched it multiple times, and I still think it's really good. I mean, I enjoyed it. And then they came out the second one. I feel like the issue with the second one for me was it wasn't a beginning to end movie. It was a part one of part two movie. And in my opinion, the third movie is better by at least one reason is it is a beginning to end kind of movie. It literally felt like the ending was an end, but there clearly is more to be told, but it was an ending nonetheless. Um which we'll be talking about later about some critiques about the whole, franchise
Well,
later.
yeah,
But
you say there's more to be told. I would bet um, a decent penny that there's no more that's going to be told.
which is gonna be a bit rough because there's certain thing in the movie that wasn't officially shown yet that I
Mm.
think is only the last little bit that they really need to tell about. Honestly, they told just about everything else. They just didn't tell one part, and it was kind of, in my opinion, one of the most important parts almost. But it was still really good, in my opinion. Not really good, but it was good. It was I think it was an average movie, but I still enjoyed it. I sat through it. I was interested. I was still slightly confused because I think most Harry Potter's movies, anything in that, universe kind of confuses me, which I guess is kind of the point, but also I don't know if it's kind of the point. It's just kind of weird and a lot of weird things happen and they confuse me, but I was still interested enough that I sat down. I didn't fall asleep or lose interest or look at my phone while watching it. I sat there and I just watched the whole thing, and I really liked it. I mean, I don't think it was as good as the first movie, but I thought it was good, and it was definitely better in my opinion than the second movie. Because again, I think personally, because it was a beginning to end kind of movie, it wasn't a oh hey this is part two of three kind of thing. It was more like a hey this is a beginning to end kind of movie, and I liked it because and I thought it was pretty good.
I mean,
Um,
it's not hard to be better than the second movie.
yeah, the second movie was
I hate
rough.
it. I think it is honestly straight garbage.
Yeah, it's just it's more because again, my personal opinion, I know you have different. I just think it's because it's not a full movie. It's a part movie. It's a part one of two. And I feel like yes, this is part two movie, but it's a beginning to end movie and it tells a whole story. The second one doesn't tell a whole story. It's just more like a hey, here's some details in between
Yeah,
kind of
but I mean,
deal.
so I mean, I guess that's fair. I don't want to say that your own personal criticisms are unfair because they're not. They're what they are. But like Star Wars Episode 5 is the same way. That movie resolves nothing. There is not a single storyline resolved in that movie, and it is one of the
That's
greatest
fair.
movies ever made. So,
I mean that's fair.
I mean,
But I just
it's
felt like it was
just
more
because you're a middle part of the movie, a middle part of a franchise or a trilogy or whatever. The Dark Knight, for example. Just because
yeah.
you leave plot lines open doesn't mean that, like, oh, we're just, the story sucks because that's what we have to do. It's like, no, there's been countless efforts that leave open plot lines and everything like that and are able to make a good movie. I think that
I would
movie's, I,
I would
dude,
say more the reason why I say that is because the way they ended the movie. See, like, you can end a movie with stories untold or questions unanswered. But the second one was more like this is straight up like the whole movie, nothing was really answered at all. Like it was just like some things were answered in episode 5 of Star Wars. Things were answered.
that's
You
true.
learned that I mean Luke learns that, Darth Vader is learn that, I think well, no, that was the sixth movie he learns that. But there's still things that you learn throughout that movie. But I feel like in Crimes of Grindelwald, you don't learn jack
Wait,
squat.
did you just
Other
say
than
that he learns about Vader being his father in episode 6?
no 5. I was
Yeah.
saying something else.
Oh,
Something else
okay.
was episode 6. That his sister thing that was learned in episode 6. That's what I was getting a
Yeah,
little confused
yeah.
about. But yeah, I mean, there was things that were answered, big plot points that I felt like were answered. But in Crimes of Grindelwald, there wasn't any big plot points really answered. There was small questions, and it just added more questions. It didn't add any answers, and
It's
that's why I like this third one because it answered a lot of things.
it's
It
very
answered a lot
it's
of
very
things,
it's very similar to another Johnny Depp movie, The Pirates of the Caribbean, the second one, Dead Man's Chest, which
and I didn't like the second one
no,
at all.
yes, to be fair, and it's one of the same way. I still remember when my dad and I walked out of that, he was like, "Man, that was 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 45 minutes where a bunch of stuff happened and nothing happened at the same time." And I was like, "That's the best review I've ever heard of that movie." Like you
Yeah,
just watched 2 hours and 45 minutes of a movie where a bunch of shit went down, but none of it mattered.
yeah, that's how I felt about Crimes of Grindelwald. I've watched it twice. I
Speaking
sat through it
of
twice, and I still never got any answers.
Speaking of Johnny Depp, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, you know my opinion on what I think of the individual actors, but I have not seen the performance yet. I've just heard things. What do you think in comparison of Mads Mikkelsen's performance and his interpretation of Grindelwald compared to Johnny Depp's?
I know a lot of people are gonna be really mad, but I don't really think it was that bad. Um, I know there's a whole controversial thing going on right now with it, which I'm bringing
What do
up.
you
I don't
mean?
really
I
want
think
to.
I think most people, especially in who aren't a part of the Johnny Depp fan base, like understand that Mads Mikkelsen's performance, from what I've heard, is significantly better.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to say who is better or not. I think they
Do it.
both, in my opinion, were equally good. I don't think he did anything better than what he did. I think he did the same thing he did, but the way that they directed the movie with more answers made him more interesting because there was more things answered in this movie. I think if they had still Johnny Depp in this movie, it would have been the same way. I don't think it would have been any different. I don't think if they had Johnny Depp in it, it wouldn't have been any different than how they did it this way. I don't think it changed. I don't think anything really felt. I mean, the only thing that felt different was he looked different, but I don't think he even looked that wildly different, in my opinion. Like he looks different, but it's not as wild as like uh who can I think of? Like Hulk. You go see Hulk, the one before we see the new Hulk. Like those were different looking people. They look completely different. But
From what I
like
could, from what I heard and from what I read, is Mads gives a more realistic interpretation of the villain as opposed to Johnny Depp doing a Johnny Depp interpretation of the character.
I mean that's fair. I mean, hey, if that's again, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, so maybe again
Oh man, he just completely disappeared, didn't he? He gone. Um. So I guess I have to come up with
my
something
opinion
to
probably
talk
does.
about.
But I also
Okay.
don't think he took away
Okay.
any.
Let me talk about you've been
Okay.
absent for the last 25 seconds.
Oh, I have been?
Yeah, I was trying to fill space because you just were gone. You just did nothing. I was like, oh, hello, welcome to the show.
Wait, really? I've been talking this entire time. That's weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just completely disappeared off screen, off scope.
What I okay. Well, okay. I'm just gonna cut down to the chase of what I was saying. I was basically saying that it didn't really. He didn't add anything different, and he didn't really change anything. Like he didn't make it go down. He didn't make the character lack, but he also didn't really, in my opinion, make the character go up for me either. Like he didn't seem more interesting because it was a different actor. So
Okay.
that's what I was basically trying to say. Like I don't think he's a bad one. I think he did as good as probably, in my opinion, Johnny Depp would have done. Heck, whatever is whatever. I still thought it was pretty good though.
All
I
right.
I enjoyed it more than the second one, but that's not saying much. But it is better.
All
So
right. Well, let me start. I will also start with the most recent, but I am going to go in order of quality in my mind. So I will go
well, are
with
you
the
saying
movie.
multiple things? Because I have some TV shows too. So I don't know if you.
Yeah, remember we're going back and forth.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to
So
make sure.
yeah, no, I'm gonna start with one. I got 5 total things that I want to talk about. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna start with said. I'm gonna go down in terms of quality. So every time I talk, it's gonna get not as raving of reviews. I'm gonna start with the movie that I finished about an hour before we came on the air. Well, came on the air.
Okay.
We're not live, so we started
We're
recording.
live.
Yeah, but I
Saturday
can
Night Live.
I can say with uneasy confidence, and what I mean by that is that I've only seen it once. I'm still in the high of watching it, my immediate reactions, but I can say with uneasy confidence, this movie's probably in my top 10 of all time,
Wow.
and it is Dune.
Oh, I've been wanting to see that movie. I've heard
This,
really good things about it.
oh my dude, this thing was mind-blowingly incredible.
I'm excited to see it.
And not just I mean the world design, everything. It's super interesting. I was like glued to the screen. um the visuals and like from a filmography stance of the movie, it is a beautiful movie. I love Timothy Chalamet, whatever his name is. He's a fantastic. I loved him in The King. I think most of the things he plays in, he's really good. Zendaya is in the movie barely, but you know they have all kinds of. Oscar Isaacs is in here. Dave Bautista's in here. Stellan Skarsgård is in here. Like we're talking about a loaded cast, and everything is interesting. Every second that this movie is on screen, it is riveting, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, what exactly is everything, and then every single time that the movie shows you the depth of its universe and kind of gives you a little hint, like a little line or something, helps you understand something deeper that you didn't quite grasp, 10 minutes or so ago or whatever. Like every single scene adds on to the mythos of the world of the building. It is impeccable world building. You know, everything that is said, everything that's done, everything that's showed just stacks on top to heighten your knowledge of what the first 5 minutes of this world sets up. I think it is honestly a masterclass in filmmaking. And not only that it's it's a science fiction genre. It's my second favorite genre in in movies right now. So, but no, it is phenomenal. I don't want to talk too much about it. I don't want to spoil anything. Also, you don't really have any like previous knowledge that I could bounce back off of. So, but do you have any questions?
Not really. Other than just the fact you said it's really good, and it's a good sci-fi. It looks good to me. It has looked good since the trailer. So,
It is so.
um,
I mean, the biggest thing I can say about it is just so interesting. Like it's just there's so many things that are just interesting. I just wanted to know more and more. And this is a part one of part two. Part two comes out next year supposedly. So the only thing is I regret not going to see this movie in theaters because I was in my little slump last year when it came out. I regret not seeing this in the best theater I could find. IMAX, everything. I regret not seeing it there.
yeah,
So
I feel the same way. Even though I haven't seen it yet, I wanted to go see it in theaters. It was one of the movies I was interested in,
one
and
thing
everything I've heard, even from you now, has been great things. So
one thing I will say is I have no clue how they pulled this movie off with a $162 million production budget and Fantastic Beasts was $215 million.
yeah, that is crazy to be honest.
The only thing I can say is you have one director that is experienced as hell and knows what he's doing. Well, I guess the other one does too. I don't know. There was just a lot of problems with the Fantastic Beasts movies, both of the last two. So, all right, go on to your next one, sir.
I guess I'll go to my next most recent. I would say I've been watching Halo. Yep,
Oh, you
yep.
decided to start it. I thought you were gonna wait till it was done.
Nope. Well, so Xbox Game Pass they give away the 30-day free trial. So I was like, all right, well, I'll
I
try
heard,
it out. It's
I
been
heard
out for
that
a while.
the fifth episode finally feels like Halo.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. I was about to, but I haven't seen it yet. But I've seen 1 through 4. Really excited for episode 5, but um, yeah. Um, I don't know who directs Halo. I didn't look it up, but it almost seems like they're trying to make Halo into Star Trek. And the way that they portray everything, the storytelling seems very hardcore Star Trek kind of feel to it. Like it feels weird. Like clearly I know it's so in the timeline that it's in, it's before Halo Reach, which is clear as day for me. But it obviously I don't think is going with the lore anyways. I don't know the lore before Halo Reach. I've never read any books on that and I'm a big Halo fan, but I just don't know much about the previous what's happened before, other than what is Halo Reach. So this is before Halo Reach, before the fall of Reach. Um, it is weird. The first episode was pretty good, but they have this stupid girl character, and she is the Rose of the show. She is Rose from episode 8 of Star Wars. She is one for one her. She's annoying. She's not focusing on what the real problem is in the or the fact that the Covenant are trying to wipe the human race. But she's like, I hate this one dude. He's in a black outfit and he bad guy. I want to rebel. And it's like, he doesn't matter. This dude does not matter. He has no importance. He's not even in the Halo story. He has nothing to do with anything going on. But they have focused almost half of this show on this stupid, dumb girl who doesn't matter, has no importance whatsoever to the show. And all she is just this girl that wants to rebel. And there's literally this one episode because are you ever gonna watch it?
Yeah,
Oh, you are okay.
yeah.
Well,
I was gonna fully wait till it was done. Sorry, I was turning my fan on. It's getting a little hot in
okay.
here
Well,
now.
then I won't spoil anything. But there,
I wish you would
episode.
have told me that you were watching it. I would have started watching it.
Oh, sorry.
I
Yeah,
thought we were waiting till it was all done, just like we are with Moon Knight, because I plan on us both watching and
yeah. I need to
finishing Moon
watch Moon
Knight.
Knight. I still haven't watched that yet either.
Well, we're
Which, by the way,
gonna
that isn't
we're
spoiler. That's not something I'm gonna be talking about. So I haven't watched it yet.
okay.
So
We're gonna wait to watch that until it's done, right?
yes, we will.
Like we said we were going to with Halo, you little
Well,
bastard.
dude, I just couldn't hold it anymore. I wanted to watch it. What
Okay.
either the hate was, I wanted the good things that some people were saying about it. I wanted to see like what it was. I really hate the fact how much he takes his helmet off. Have you ever played Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Wait, is it
The
more than
story?
once?
Oh my fucking god! It's the entire show. Episode 4, here it is. I can't reenact it because there's no camera to show. But he puts his helmet on. 2 minutes later, takes his helmet off. 2 minutes later, puts his helmet back on. 2 minutes later, takes his helmet off. 2 minutes later, puts his helmet back on. 2 minutes later, takes it back off. Dude, keep your fucking helmet on.
Oh,
You
I thought it was just once.
No,
Oh,
it is so much.
that's
It wasn't
devastating.
even. I think by the end of no, yeah, within the first episode it happens. It literally happens within the first episode. It literally it did not take any time for this to happen at all. And again, I'm holding on hope because I'm trying to push past my anger for the fact that he is showing his face. I'm just trying to push past. I'm like, okay, maybe there's still some good to see in this show. Even though they're doing some really dumb stuff with Master Chief, and I'm a huge Master Chief fan, I'm going to try to push past it. There's some changes, just like how I said for Cowboy Bebop. It would be me. That's kind of what's the word? It's when you say something like you're giving criticism, but you same thing. I can't think of the word right now, but basically,
Contradictory?
yes, I'm
Okay.
contradicting myself because if I talk crap on Halo, that's the same thing I would be saying about Cowboy Bebop. By the way, oh no, I'm gonna shut up. That's another thing I'm gonna talk about later. But if I clearly was saying the same thing for that show, then but I didn't. I like that show for its differences. So I'm going to try to enjoy this movie for its differences, but there are just some things where it's like you could change things and keep it in the same theme, realm, etc. But I don't think Halo's really keeping it in the realm. I mean, I heard episode 5 is a really crazy, super action packed, and actually doing stuff with the Covenant, which I'm really excited about because a lot of the show seems like so far really like I heard this take from a channel I watched where they said basically the Covenant are the good guys because they're making everyone else the bad guys compared to the Covenant. And it's funny because the more I think about it, it is true. It seems like everyone else is the bad guys and the Covenant are actually the good guys. And I kind of hope they win because literally how annoying people are in the show. But
I can tell you, it is at a 69 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 61 on Metacritic currently.
but
So not
I'm
terrible,
still I'm still
not
watching it.
good.
I'm gonna watch it since it's free and I got Paramount Plus, and I'm literally gonna cancel it as soon as I finish Halo. Nothing else on Paramount Plus looks good at all to me. So I'm gonna finish it. I'm still gonna keep watching it, but it's a mixed bag. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's super cool. That's awesome. And honestly, some of it's more brutal than the actual games, which is really weird. Like the first episode was brutal. Like some weird stuff happens that you do not ever see in the video games at all.
Well, the games are
So,
only rated T, so
well, the first no Halo 1 through 3 were immature. They started making them
are they?
T at Halo 5. I think Halo 5 was the first T for Teen Halo, and then they started moving that. They kept it that way from then on. But I'm pretty sure even Halo 4 was immature. I think
Mm.
too. I don't know about Halo 4, but I know Halo 1 through 3 and Reach and ODST were all immature. I know that for a fact.
Mm.
Which is weird because they weren't really that immature anyways. They barely had a lot of blood. I think the most immature thing about it was the cussing and maybe the flood because the flood were pretty brutal too, but that's a whole other tangent. But yeah, I think it's a very mixed bag show.
Okay.
I'm still watching it. I hope whenever I do finish it, and maybe you could finish it too within that same time, we could talk about it because I have a lot to talk about it. I'm
Did
trying
you
to keep it
know?
down because I want you to watch it too so that we could both talk about it.
Did you know that there's an E for every one Halo game?
Is it
It's
that Spartan?
No, it's Halo Recruit. It's a mixed reality experience for Microsoft Windows 10, developed by VR developer Endeavor One in partnership with 343 Studios. Released on October 17, 2017, Halo Recruit became available for fans to try out and participate in Microsoft stores as a free download from the Windows Store.
Huh.
That's all I got. That's the only thing the Wikipedia says.
Never heard of it.
Sorry. The Halopedia says.
Huh.
But you're
Never
right.
even heard of it.
Halo 5 T, Halo Wars 2 Teen, Halo Infinite T for Teen, Spartan Assault T for Teen, Spartan Strike T for Teen. The rest of them are M. So you
which
are
is
correct.
weird
Actually, Halo
because they're
Wars is
all kind of the
T15.
same, other than I think Halo 5 and on have all been less cussing. Like I don't think there was almost any cussing in the rest of the games, but I think that's what made the other ones infamous because Sergeant Johnson and etc. They cussed a lot.
Yeah, well, it says
So
also blood and violence too.
yeah,
So,
so
all right, you done?
but
You good with that?
yeah, what about you? Yep,
All right.
I would say that's it because I don't want to spoil anything for you. I know I might have said some things, but I want you to finish it with me so we could talk about it.
I mean, I didn't say anything about the actual story of Dune because I don't want to spoil anything for you. So, but we can talk about more in depth when you see it. You may not like it as much as I am,
Yeah,
as I did, because I'm like a huge sci-fi nerd, and a lot of the concepts they were going into is very high sci-fi.
yeah.
So, but we'll see. All right. So, staying with, I realize there's only really, well, there's 6 things I want to talk about, but 2 of them I'm gonna group together because the old movies that I had that on my first time watching. But yesterday, I finally got around to watching Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, how dare you? I'm joking.
Shang-Chi, the fuck ever. I'm not Asian. And let me tell you what, that was a damn good movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Very, very good. I actually came away not really surprised because I heard it was good, but I I think it's gonna be decently high on my MCU list. Higher
Yeah, I
than
think
a lot
it's
of them.
I think it's pretty good.
I
Yeah.
think it's more towards the upper middle than the middle. But
Oh
but
yeah, no, I
I
agree
mean,
with that.
let me tell you what, dude. That fucking bus scene or subway scene, whatever you
Oh,
want to call it.
it was sick.
That shit was so cool, dude. I was sitting there. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. And then I watched Dune, and everything, and every single scene was the coolest scene I've seen in a long time. But that's not Shang-Chi's fault. But I mean, yeah, the movie just kind of spoke to me in terms of things that I'm interested in, Asian mythology, whether that be Chinese or Japanese mythology, like that stuff just interests me. So this movie being heavily inspired by Chinese mythology obviously just interests me more than just nothing. Like, okay, it being that interests me more than it being anything else is what I was trying to say there. And so, and like the final whole battle with the dragon. By the way, the dragon looked cool shit. Um, but negatives. There's not really a main villain. There
Yeah, I
is,
would say
but
the villain was okay.
well, no. What I'm saying is like he is positioned as a villain, but he never really acts like a villain until like there's like the 20-minute stretch towards in the third act that he's truly acting like a villain. But he quickly stops acting like the villain, and then the actual villain of the movie is on screen for 5 minutes total. So I think that's
Yeah.
the one. There wasn't really a central plot villain pulling us through the movie, so that would be my only quote unquote negative, and it's not even really that big of a negative. But I also think good on Marvel for taking a chance, even though this is still a very much a Marvel movie. Like it does take a chance with a different style, a different genre. It's very inspired by some of the the 70s and 80s kung fu movies. You got wire work going on. You got characters spinning around and these really dramatic long takes akin to a lot of the old kung fu movies that I watched when I was younger. So it takes inspiration from those different genres, and I think it melds them with a superhero movie very well. So overall, thumbs up, 4 out of 5 for me. By the way, Dune was a 5 out of 5, easily. The easiest 5 out of 5 I've given since, I don't know, maybe No Way Home.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Your next one.
I'll just meld two together.
By the
Well,
way, real quick, what would you give Halo right now? I know it's not over, but what would you give your initial impressions right now? Out of 5,
um,
halves allowed.
2.5 out of 5.
Okay, so average.
Yeah, it's close to average. It's slightly below sometimes, but I would definitely say yeah. If I had to hit a number, it'd be 2.5 out of 5.
Did you
But
hear that?
yeah, I did. I was like, what the heck?
That was my little vape thing. It was moving around on the
Oh,
table, but it just started moving by itself and it confused me. All right,
all right.
what do you got next for me?
Um, finished two animes. One you really love.
Yeah, I know.
Finished Cowboy Bebop.
We talked about it
L-
last episode. What'd you
We
think
did?
about the ending? Yeah, well, you said that you were watching it, you were almost done with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Loved it.
yeah,
The ending
it's
was kind of sucky. Well, not bad, but it's more like I wish there was more to build up to that episode.
yeah,
It felt very rushed at the
it
end,
is
but it
it
was
is
really good.
it is extraordinarily rushed, and that was because if I remember my knowledge right, they actually produced that final episode after the show got canceled, so they produced an ending. It's kind of like
And
some TV shows that like, oh, we got canceled early, so let's make a movie, you know?
and it makes me sad because like I wanted more. Like I loved it. It was so good. Like it
That
was
could be false.
really, really good.
That could be false information, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, I wish there was more because like I mean again like I really liked it a lot, and that's what sucked because like it felt like it was short, and it made me wish that there was so much they could have explored. There's so many things they could do. I mean, I felt like they things pretty well towards the end, but there was still just some empty holes that just were not filled, and I wish they were. So, and also just I wanted to see more. I really loved it. Like I will probably say now I like it more than the live action, but I still like the live action still.
Now
Like even after watching it.
there is a movie. I've told you that. So
Yeah, I know. I need to look it up. I don't know if it's on
yeah.
Crunchyroll because that's where I watched it.
If not, next time you guys come back. By the way, Peyton keeps asking me when you guys are coming down.
Yeah, no, we're trying to figure that out right now, which hopefully soon, I would say. We'll
That's
talk about
cool.
it after the podcast.
Yeah. So out of
The ant.
five,
Oh, I've 4.5
oh, four
easily.
and a half.
Dude, the only thing that, and it's not its fault because it's got canceled, but like the ending is the only reason I'll give it that 0.5
That's
because
fine.
it
That's
just
fine.
because I feel like there was a lot of things that weren't answered, and it sucks because literally, if all those things were answered, I think it would be a 5 out of 5. I loved it. It was super good. It was very interesting. The whole universe was interesting. The characters were interesting. The action was awesome. It was just so good.
Oh, I think the world is the single most interesting
Yeah,
part
it was
about
just
that.
so
Yeah.
good. It was so good. And then it just like it was just so sad seeing it end. Like it was even more sad when they do the ending. They're like the episode before where they do their ending thing where they talk about the next episode. They're like, next episode's the last episode, and they're like, wait, what? Like all the characters were saying that. I'm like, man, that makes me sad because it was like even the characters seemed like they wanted more, and it just like like it sucked. Like it was so good. It was really good. But yeah, I think it's a 4.5 because the ending just was so rushed, and it sucks because like it's so good. It is so good. I love it. And the only other thing I'm gonna mix, you don't care about this. You probably will never watch it. I think you should watch it. I finished Demon Slayer season 2 very recently, and oh man, god damn, is that anime so good. Like I'm not a big like it's just so good. Like the action in that season 2 was probably in my opinion pretty controversial for a lot of people because a lot of people like Naruto and they think it's like the best of the best. But dude, Demon Slayer 2 season 2, that's probably the best action I've ever seen in any anime. It
Well,
was amazing. It
what
was amazing.
what about
And it is,
Castlevania? Castlevania has some sick action.
but dude, no, Demon Slayer, dude. It is so good. And I highly recommend if you ever get a chance to watch it. It's so good. The art style's awesome. The way that they do the combat and the colors and everything, it is just beautiful. It is awesome. The characters are really cool and interesting. It's not that average anime where it's like I mean, yes, season 2 is almost one fight, but it's not a super long season, I feel like, and it's not dragged on within 40 episodes to do one thing. It's like it gets to the point and it's really good and I love it because it just gets to the action, it gets to the point, it tells the story and it's just great. and I love it. And it's all samurais, and they're all done in like a. It's almost like they're witchers in a sense because they hunt down demons, and it is just so freaking good. I highly recommend it. You should definitely watch it. Like it is so freaking good. And the movie too, Mugen Train, which by the way came out the same year the first season came out. Amazing. Like I think it's probably one of the best anime movies I've ever seen. So I loved it. It was awesome.
I'm gonna preemptively write down 5 out of 5 because I think that's what we're leading to here.
Oh yeah,
Okay. I
it's 5 out of
already
5.
I already wrote it down, so you don't have to
Because
worry
dude,
about it.
even the TV show, like when they do the show, like most movies and anime put a lot of effort in it. They do a lot more, like they put a lot more animation and stuff. Even the show has the same quality as like a movie of an anime does, and that's how good it is. Like it is so good. They put so much effort into it. And the good thing is the anime is already done in manga form, so they already have the whole story done. It's just a matter of putting that manga into live action, and it is just I'm so excited. So, really good. I wanted to put those two together because I felt like they weren't like super crazy, but they're also really good. So,
All
what
right.
about you?
Moving on to the next one, going down the ladder in quality here. After the delay last night with the power going out, I finished Eternals this morning.
What do you think?
Um, it surprised me. It's not
That's
as
what I said.
it's not as bad as everyone told me it was going to be. I actually not thoroughly enjoyed it. There were things that I clearly did not like. I mean, there's essentially a 10 to 15 minute um just exposition dump smack dab in the middle of the movie that
Yeah.
dragged on for way too long. And you know what couple scenes I'm talking about. I mean, it's just you're just getting spouted exposition about everything that happened, and then there's another one towards the end that reveals what actually happened. So there's like two massive exposition scenes. But all that aside, I mean, this is the second longest MCU movie, and I really enjoyed most of its runtime. I said I have complaints. I don't think it's. It's probably middle for me in terms of MCU ranking. I have to sit and think about it, but I was intrigued by the world, the characters. Some of them were really good, some of them not so good. But it really took me by surprise, and it was much better than most people said it was. I mean, it has like a 42 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, it is not a 42. My
That's the
rating,
thing.
my
I
rating
think
for it is
oh,
3.5. I think it's highly above average. So I mean that translates to a 7. So I think it's a good movie. I think it's a legitimately
I was-
good movie with some inconsistencies and has quite a bit of pacing problems, like we said, with the massive exposition scenes that drag the movie to a halt. And there's some story inconsistencies, especially when they talk about the years and all that. And when you think about it, uh, like for example, they said, "Oh, the main character has been with this other guy for 5,000 years," and then like it flashes back to a scene like at 500 BC that they're still not technically together yet, and I'm like, well, that would only be 2,000 years, so that math doesn't make sense. And that happens like 3 or 4 times where they say something in the present time, and then when the flashback shows that thing happening, it doesn't actually line up with what they said happened. So there is some writing and story inconsistencies like there, and there's some pacing problems and all that. There's general movie stuff that's wrong with it, but take all that out, take all that criticisms. It is a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed watching, and I was really upset when the power went out because I was like, man, I was really getting into this. It is long though. Man, is it a long movie. And you feel that runtime. You feel that 2 hours and 40 minute runtime.
yeah, you do.
So, well, I know you've seen it. So, what do you think about it? Bouncing off. I know you
Well, it's
said you
funny
was.
because you said the exact same thing I would say because I literally went in with very low hopes. A lot of people were saying a lot of bad things about it. I mean, I already had a bad opinion about it because I thought the trailer looked horrible.
The trailer was
They
garbage.
marketed they marketed this movie so badly.
The trailer
It
was
looked
absolute garbage.
cringy.
Yeah.
It looked bad. The characters just they didn't portray the characters in an interesting way in the trailers. They just made them look all dumb and stupid. Like it was just not interesting looking. And then It finally came to Disney Plus. I gave it a watch, and I was pretty impressed. I mean, I don't know if I would rate it 3.5. I'm in the middle between 3 or 3.5.
I was
I think
going
it.
I was going back and forth between a 3 and a 3.5, but I just thought, 3 that's above average. Like I think it's a little better than above average. Like, if you take this movie and you stack it up against the first two Thor movies, I'm like I would watch this one way more than I would watch that one. And
Oh yeah,
while this one has problems and inconsistencies, the Thor movies are actually like have bad movie parts to them. So it's an
that's
entirely
fair.
different like level. So that's why I'm kind of like, on the MCU scale of things, I think a 3.5 is justified. But
If
if you said a 3, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I was going back and forth between a 3
if I had to
too.
meet in the middle, it'd be like 3.2, because
Yeah.
like I don't know if I would really put it as a 3. Too low. 5 is too high. So I'd be like in the middle, because like I think it's really like I think it's not really good, but I think it's good. I think it's good. It's a good Marvel movie. It's not bad. I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
There's some interesting things they do in it.
I think it's
Obviously, there's some things that make kind of not doesn't like truly make no sense, but it's just like questionable
well,
at
I think it
most.
is the single most interesting Marvel movie we've gotten in a long time in terms of what it does to the overall world of the MCU, in terms of everything that it changes and everything that, and well, how much more knowledge you get about the MCU in this movie is crazy to think about. Like, you learn all about the Celestials, which you saw those in Guardians, if you remember. They were the one holding the Infinity Stones. You saw
Yeah.
them in the first Guardians movie. So we've seen the Celestials before, but this is the first time you really quote unquote see the Celestials. And you just
What?
you learn a lot more about the broader phase 4 of the MCU. So I think it achieves what it wanted to achieve. Um Now, whether we get another one, I know that it says at the very end, Internals will return. Of course, it says it in every MCU. I don't know if I'd be on board for another one. The only reason I would is because I actually, towards the end of the movie, I came to like quite a bit a couple of the characters. And there were a couple of characters that I gave zero fucks about. But the main character, Cersei, played by Gemma Chan, who, maybe I'm skewed because I like Gemma Chan a lot, but I really thought her character was I really liked her character a lot. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't blown away by anything that she did in the movie. I was like, yeah, that's a good character. She has internal struggle and conflict that she has to get through and go through throughout the movie that I thought paid off pretty well by the end of it. And then there's characters like the small one, starts with an S. I can't remember her name. That I was like, this is the
Yeah,
stupidest. This
she's
sucks.
kind of.
This is awful.
Well, she probably won't be showing up again, hopefully, because
Yeah.
she's now
Yeah,
human.
and then there's I almost said Athena. There's Thena, who is simultaneously a good character and the biggest ball and chain weight in this entire movie. With kind of the way that her character goes about doing it, and the way and some of the things that she's dealing with. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, she is a cool character by the end of it, and she's really neat. But like the whole way throughout the movie, I'm like, oh my god, get your shit figured out. You're a freaking Eternal. Figure the shit out. And then what's the other one that I really like that I can never remember his name? It's a dude that could do the mind control. I thought he was really cool, and
Oh
he
yeah.
was very different than all the other Eternals in terms of the way he thought about things. He essentially wanted to be a god, but he wanted to be a god for the betterment of humankind, which I thought was really cool. Very,
That's the
very,
one thing.
very different than most other superheroes.
That's the one thing I will say is a bad thing about this movie is like I don't remember most of the characters' names. Almost at all. Like most Marvel movies, I leave and I understand their
The
names.
only
I
reason I
know their
remember
names, but them I
the only
don't
reason
know
I
half
remember
their
some of
names.
them is a lot of them have a base in Greek mythology, which I did think was really cool that it kind of delved into that human history aspect. Athena, the goddess of war, is based after Athena. Gilgamesh. There's there's Festus. So Hephaestus, the god of Festus, who's the god of machinery and all that in creation. That was the guy who created stuff, the Eternal. So there's a lot of base in Greek mythology in this movie that I thought was really cool. And that's one of the reasons why I know. And then obviously Icarus, the main guy, who let me tell you what, man, Marvel was channeling Superman in that one. Let me tell you what. Like literally the
I thought it was
end.
funny how that kid literally says, Oh, it's Superman.
Well, they mentioned Batman too. They mentioned
Yeah, that's funny.
Alfred the Butler, but I'm talking about like the ending of his story. Spoiler alerts is essentially the same way that All Star Superman ends. It's one of my favorite storylines in Superman history, which
Huh.
you still have to read. I guess I still have to give that to you. So, all right. But anyway, let's move on. Do you have anything? Do you have any more?
Um,
I have one more movie that I want to give a rating to, and then there's two more movies. Well, there's one movie that I rewatched, and then there's a trilogy of movies that Peyton and I watched this week.
to be real quick, it's not a story-based show. It's more just a fun show. I don't know if you've ever heard on Netflix. Is it Cake? Um, it's a really
Yeah,
good show.
no,
It's actually
not a clue.
really good.
Zero
It's
clues.
it is really funny and really good. And the whole point of it is obviously they make real objects that look like real things, but and you got to figure out which one's real and which one's cake.
Oh, I've seen that
And
on
it's
like
and
TikTok and
it's
all that. Yeah.
super good actually. Like really good and I hope they make another season of it because the host is really good. It's a very interesting subject and I think this is probably in my opinion one of the best reality shows Netflix has made. Because, well, reality, whatever you want to call it. Uh it's definitely the better one. Like compared to that stupid show The Floor is Lava, this is just 1,000 times better and I hope they continue it but I don't know. Netflix is kind of a wild card, even though they make a lot of views. They like to cancel shit. Cough, cough, Cowboy Bebop. So who knows if they'll have another season? But we'll
I am
see.
100% okay and fine as long as they don't cancel The Witcher. If they cancel The Witcher, I'm canceling Netflix.
Yeah, I'll be pretty mad about that too.
I
I don't think they will.
No,
It's
I
too
don't think
good.
they will. Anyway, you were getting ready to say something.
Oh no, just yeah.
Oh,
If you ever want to watch a fun little show, I highly recommend that show. I think it's really good. It's really funny. It's of course not. It's just it's about cakes. It's about like them making real things that look like cake, and then you got to figure out which one's which. And it's fun because it's just one of those shows. But that probably marks the end of all the things I've really
all right.
watched
Well,
in these 2 weeks.
I'll rip through these. I want to put a score on one more movie that I watched. I finally got
Oh
around
wow.
to watching Fast Nine, the ninth movie in the Fast and Furious franchise. And let me tell you
Oh.
what, I have been a avid defender of these movies for a long time, with especially you and other people. Um, this movie was not good. This
Yeah.
this movie, it broke me of my Fast and the Furious. And what sucks is this movie should have been everything that a fan of this franchise wanted. You know, in terms of character returns, in terms of action set pieces, in terms of everything that is what the Fast and the Furious franchise is right now, which is essentially a superhero franchise. Well, not essentially, it is a superhero franchise. This movie just went off the rails at every turn that it could possibly go off the rails of. There was at one point mid movie, I turned to Peyton and I said, "Why is it that a car built to be a rocket ship floating in space is the single most believable thing that's happening in this movie right now?"
What? What?
Dude,
No
this
way.
movie goes crazy, and in that craziness, it says it derails itself at every turn. I
I think the
have
last one
this.
I seen was Fate. I've not seen Fast
Well,
9.
that's the one right before this one, Fate of the
Yeah,
Furious.
yeah.
So,
I know.
and like again, I love Fast Five. I love Fast and Furious 6. I like 7. I think 8 is decent to okay, and this movie said just hit every wrong turn it could. I am giving this movie a generous only because I like some of the character reveals and I still like some of the action they're doing. I am giving this movie a generous 2 out of 5.
No, no, no. The real question is it rated from 0 to family? What would
Oh,
you rate it?
0 to family, it is cousin. I, I don't exactly know what that breaks down to, but it is cousin.
There we go.
Yeah. But man, it's just, and you know
Oh,
me, and I've defended this series over and over again with you. Like I think there's low points of it. Obviously,
very low points, but yeah.
the Fast and the Furious. Oh no, sorry, just Fast and Furious, the fourth one. The naming conventions all over the place. The fourth
Yeah.
one is honestly still the lowest point for me, but this one kind of it's kind of encroaching on that Fast 4 territory. And Tokyo Drift is bad, but Tokyo Drift is bad in the way that it's awesome bad.
Yeah.
But
Wait, wasn't 5 the one where they took the bank vault out, or was that
yeah,
4? I'm
no,
so lost
no,
now on which one's which.
no. 4 is when Brian and Vin Diesel come back into it and they go into Mexico. Fast 5 is the one that they steal the bank. Fast 5, in my opinion, is the best one.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
I
I
love
mean, it was
Fast 5 to
interesting.
death. I
I
mean,
actually liked Fast and Furious 8, but not because it was a Fast and Furious movie. I liked it as like an action movie.
yeah,
I
I
thought it was
mean,
interesting, the things they did in it. I didn't think it was a good Fast and Furious movie. I just thought it was a good action movie.
I
It was
like
good.
Fate of the Furious. Like I said, I think Fate of the Furious was a good movie, but they were like, it starts with 5 as a high point, and 6 drops down a little bit, but still really good, really enjoyable. 7 drops down a little bit more, but still, really good, really enjoyable. Fate comes in, drops down a little bit, still a good, enjoyable movie. I wouldn't say really good anymore, but it's decent. And then fucking 9 plummeted off the face of the planet, man. Dude, I was watching this movie, I was like, well, oh my god, all of this, like, just sucks. Like, the action is still the action. That's why I still gave it a little bit of a bump. And, there are some character reveals and some cool things that happen as longtime fans of the series that I am. But everything else, I'm like, man, this has gotten too much. It is a Michael Bay movie too much. It's like, there's only so many times I can see things blow up before I get bored of them. Which is what I remember happened in, the Dino one. Transformers 4, I forgot what the name is. Age of Extinction. Age of
Oh, I think
Extinction.
yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And I was like, I remember I was sitting in the theater with Eric, and I was like, 2 hours and 45 minutes of constant explosions. I'm like, man, I'm bored. Like, the dinosaurs haven't showed up yet, and I'm bored. But, all right, the last 2 things I want to run through. I went out and bought Spider-Man No Way Home on 4K. Watched it with my
Oh, I did
dad.
too.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Watch it with my dad for the first time. He absolutely loved it. Obviously, everyone knows I think it's one of my favorite superhero movies ever made. After seeing it for the 3rd time now, it is phenomenal. Still a 5 out of 5. You?
Oh, dude, still 555. I want to
Yeah,
watch it again.
yeah. It is.
Yeah, that's how much I want to watch it
It's
again.
so good. And
So
then
good.
the last thing we did, we watched a trilogy of movies. We watched the Rush Hour trilogy. They came on HBO, so we watched them, and that's just a blast from my childhood past. Have you ever seen the Rush Hour movies?
I have. I forgot a lot about them. I didn't
No.
see them since I
Well,
was a kid, but I
they're,
loved them.
they're
They were
so
so
good.
good.
By the way,
Yeah.
you should see the piece of paper that I've been writing down all the scores. It looks like it looks like the plot of Final Fantasy. Fast and Furious 9. It's all over the place. There's circles and there's lines and there's some numbers. Man, it's all over the place. All right.
You gotta
Anything
put
else?
family in
Yeah.
big lettering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to put cousin to family over here.
Yeah, because the family.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay,
That's about
so
it.
that was a very long what you've been doing, but we had 2 weeks to get up on. So now we're gonna go.
Oh, wait. One
Just
real
kidding.
quick thing. I did finally get a new phone. That's probably the only.
Whoa,
other thing
me
I've done
too.
these 2 weeks.
No shit, really? I did too.
Really? Yeah.
I got
Dude,
mine Monday. I dropped a
Really?
dumbbell
That's
on mine
fun.
in the gym.
Oh,
So
God.
I've been needing a new one anyway, but yeah, I was doing a heavy set of bench and I like dropped the weights and I sat up and I realized my phone was not in my pocket anymore. So I kind of like did a deep breath. I was like, oh, please just let me get lucky for once in my life. And I turned and nope, half my screen is gone. I'm like, fuck. so
Jeez. What'd
so
you
yeah,
get?
I went out and got a Pixel 4. So
Hey, okay.
yeah, I go.
Obviously, I stuck with Apple.
Yeah,
So.
well, I buy all my stuff from Swapper, so I buy like refreshed phones. I don't buy used phones anymore. But yeah, I got a Pixel 4 for $175.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty good. Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah. What's
Very nice.
it's almost brand new. I looked around, I saw no scratches anywhere, so I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
And I get to stay in the Pixel family.
Yes. I mean, if I didn't have an iPhone and I was deep into the Apple thing, I would definitely Google Pixel. I
The
always
only
say that.
the only complaint I have about Pixel is it's more of a complaint about Google. Is that they are little cocky ass bastards, man. Google over there, so they don't allow you to cast to anything other than a Google TV from a Pixel
That's
phone.
weird.
Yeah, Samsung for the win. Let me tell you. Alright.
I won't. I never liked it, but yeah, I got the new iPhone 13 Pro. That's what I got as my new phone.
Oh, so you
I
spent
mean,
the
I
big
went.
bucks.
Yeah, I just wanted something new that would last me a long time. I mean, that's pretty much what happened with my last phone. I got the iPhone 8 Plus when it first came out, and I've had that since like 2017, I believe. So I finally upgraded. It needed to be upgraded because the charging port stopped working. And they had a deal going on where it was they would give me $350 off my new phone. So I was like, I mean, I'll take that for a mostly not good conditioned phone with a crack on the front of it. I'll take that. So they did that, and I was like, all right, I'll just get the 13 Pro because I personally like taking pictures on my phone. So I want to get a good phone with a good camera on it. And I did a lot of research on the 13 Pro. I also like the refresh rate on it. It's pretty nice. So yeah, I'm happy to do it. It's definitely weird because I'm used to having a button on my phone. Not having a button on my phone is a little strange, but I
Yeah,
really like it.
I'm still getting used to the face unlock,
Yeah, that tricks
dude.
me all the time.
Cause
Like I'm
like,
so used to like putting my thumb on it and it just unlocks.
well, there's
But
sometimes I
no,
just want to look at my notifications. I just want to see what they are, and I pick up my phone and then it unlocks. I'm like, fuck, that's not what I wanted.
yeah, I feel that.
And also, it has like the Pixel has gesture controls and all that. So then, like when I like reach for it, it automatically like begins to unlock itself. Like
Oh yeah,
I don't have to touch my phone at all. All I have to do is move my hand towards it, and it'll turn itself on.
that's cool.
It'll read my face, and then unlock. Like I can see it right now, and I put my hand in front of the phone, and yeah, it turned on without me touching it. That's
I
actually really
like
cool.
that.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, we got off topic now. Cool. So
Yeah, sorry.
that's funny that we both got new phones. Mine was because I kind of had to. So yours was because you
I mean, I
wanted
did
to.
too. My phone was dying,
Yeah,
so it needed to be upgraded.
my phone was doing some weird software stuff, and the 55-pound dumbbell was just the proverbial nail in the coffin. So
yeah.
quite literally. So, but hey, I can still use the old one, so it is tucked away just in case something happens. But so nothing else to catch up on before we go
Nope.
into the
That I
news.
no more surprise cut
No,
you
no,
off.
you're
I
good.
think
You're
that's
good. You're
it.
good. I honestly forgot I was gonna mention that, but oh, before I forget, I do have a surprise thing. I've been trying to tell you this for like 4 weeks now, and I keep forgetting. So you remember a ways back when I told you I was getting a new client at the gym, and his name was Bob Ross, right? And then we had the cool little back and forth spit and spat we were doing, where you, me, and my buddies were saying cool things about like Bob Ross and the painter and the gym trainer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure you remembered all that. So I started training him, obviously. And this I said this happened within the first couple days. I just kept forgetting to bring it up to you. I like to, just talk about some baseline personal stuff with my clients just to get to know them. And I asked him, if he had any kids and everything. And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, what does your kid do? And he was like, oh, he's a game developer. And I was like, wait, hold up, really? He was like,
Wait.
yeah, he works for Microsoft. I was like, wait, at like a studio or like just like in Microsoft? And he goes, no, he works on some racing game. I was like, wait, Forza? He's like, yeah. I was like, wait, does he work for Turn 10? He's like, yeah. I was like, no shit, dude. I was freaking out. So yeah, one of my clients' son works for Turn 10 Studios.
That's amazing.
Dude, it was so cool.
That's super awesome.
And his dad was telling me like he went out there a couple weeks ago. He flew out there and he was in his office and like he just got handed the controller and he was playing Forza 8. But he was just like his son was working on it, and he didn't tell me anything about it obviously like that. But so yeah, he said his son works in design and troubleshooting. So his dad was like, "Hey, this car that doesn't have any tires," and his son's like, "Yeah, I know. That's what I'm currently working on."
Huh.
I was like, "This is so cool, dude."
That's super cool,
Yeah.
actually. Holy crap.
And I said, "Hey, maybe if this podcast actually becomes successful, do you think I could get like an interview with him? Because that'd be awesome."
That would be super cool. I'd be
So
down for that.
yeah, I would interview the shit. I mean, you know me, I love Forza. So, but yeah, maybe maybe if I get close enough to this guy, this Bob Ross, I can meet his son and I can go visit Turn 10 Studios. Apparently, he worked for Nintendo for quite a few years. Nintendo of America. He actually worked on, oh, not Odyssey. It was one of the other. It was one of the Wii U Super Mario games. Was it Brothers? Or Wii? I don't remember. It was one of the Mario games. He actually worked on. He was a level designer.
Okay.
I was like, this is so cool, dude. So yeah, I spent the entire 30-minute session talking to him about his son's video game projects.
Dude, that is super cool. What are
Yeah.
the odds?
So anyway, nothing else. No more surprises from me. You said no more surprises from you, right?
Yep,
All right.
no more.
Well, let's get into Around the Point, where Logan and myself go around the video game world and give you the news that we want to talk about. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, please go to our Patreon, subscribe to our Patreon so you can be a part of the show and ask us any questions you want us to talk about. With that, let's get into our first story. These first couple ones are from last week, and then the last couple ones are from this current week. So let's get into the first one. Cyberpunk Expansion is confirmed to be on the way. So this came out, and the developers said they are currently working on the story expansion to come out in 2023. Along with this, we also got news that The Witcher 3 Next Gen has been delayed indefinitely because CD Projekt is taking it in-house and working on it with their studios. Logan, you are currently playing Cyberpunk. What do you think about this?
Um, I'm excited. I really can't wait. Really curious on what they're gonna do with the expansion. I'm curious on like, I mean, obviously it's gonna have some kind of story element, I would assume. So I'm curious if it's gonna be like an addition to the map. Is it gonna be something that's happening in the middle of the story? Is it gonna be something that's happening at the beginning of the game before all of it starts? Or maybe it's a continuation. I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what it does. And yeah. Um, I'm hoping Witcher 3 Next Gen comes out at some point. I mean, I know it's delayed and it's being brought in delay in house. Still waiting for that to come out because I was hoping because I played a good portion of Witcher 3, never fully completed it, and now I kind of just want to wait till the next gen version comes out so I beat it in its best version I can play. So I've been just kind of waiting for that. I was hoping it was going to come out this year, but I mean, I don't know if it is going to come out this year now. So yeah, I mean, I really do hope they do come out with it soon because it's already kind of being forgotten that there was going to be a next gen version, which I kind of feel like they're going to keep pushing it back to the point no one even knows and then it's not going to come out with it. But who knows? I don't know. I just really want it to come out so I could beat Witcher 3. I want to beat it, but I also want to wait for the best version to come out. And it gives me a reason to push it off. So
Or you could allow me to build you a PC and then you can play the best version.
yeah, well, if PC prices and things would go down,
They are. They're
that'd be
coming
great.
down.
Because I don't want to spend $200 more than what the NMSRP is. Like I think that's dumb.
Okay, well, yeah, they're still a little higher than that. But
That's why I don't want to build a
yeah,
PC.
moving on. Well, not moving on. Moving on to my opinions. I'm actually really excited about this. I still have yet to play Cyberpunk past the 10-hour mark because I've held off on it, and I'm getting closer. Once I get done with Lego Star Wars, I'm gonna keep coming back because like I want to platinum it, but like that's a lot of work to platinum this Lego Star Wars game. So I'm gonna keep working on that. I'm gonna have it be my podcasting video game, so I pretty much just listen to podcasts while I'm playing that. And then I gotta finish up Shadow of the Tomb Raider because I put that on the back burner to play Lego, but then I got into a movie mood, so things have been delayed these past couple weeks. But I'm very excited about this. Um, I've been feeling the kind of I've been feeling it. It's kind of like release excitement. Like you get excited before a new game comes out. You know that feeling, right?
But you cut out real bad. I'm sorry about that.
I said
What'd you say?
I've been kind of getting this like release excitement. Like what I'm talking about. Like a new game's coming out, and you're like really excited, and
Why is
you're
it cutting out? I'm so sorry.
oh, you're good.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that, listeners. I don't know what's going on.
All
It's
right,
cutting out real bad.
are
Go
we
on one more
good?
time.
All
This
right.
time, hopefully, it will go through. Stop
Okay.
Discord.
I was saying that I'm kind of in this like release excitement kind of ideology about Cyberpunk. Like when you get excited about a new game coming out. When a new game's getting ready to come up and it keeps getting closer and closer and you get more and more excited, that excitement
Well,
level.
I don't know what's going on. I might have to leave and come back.
Okay, well, you do that. I'll keep talking. Anyway, I have been getting more
I'm
and
gonna
more
leave and come
excited.
back. Okay. I'm sorry.
I've been getting more and more excited about playing Cyberpunk, getting to play Cyberpunk, and getting on here and getting to go through the entirety of it, especially now that everything is fixed and things seem to be back up and running the way that at least somewhat initially a CD Projekt had planned them to be. So I'm just generally excited to get back and to start doing it. So I've kind of had that feeling of, I'm getting ready to play Cyberpunk again, and I'm kind of excited about it, which is a cool feeling. It's a feeling that I didn't really get for the release of the game because I just knew that that game didn't look like what I wanted it to be. But I'm excited to sit down and give it another try. Also, they announced during this whole thingamajig that it appears that they are done with the major fixes for Cyberpunk 2077, and outside of the team that is working on the expansion, they are moving forward with future projects and refocusing their team on the efforts that they have coming up in the next couple of years, including the Witcher Saga game that we talked about 2 weeks ago on the show. So, Logan, have you returned to us?
Hopefully yes, for
Okay.
good, because I don't know what has been going on. I could every time you tried to bring up that one point, Discord literally kept cutting you out
It's okay.
completely.
I've
So it was,
I've been talking the whole time, so
but yeah, I'm really excited, and I hope you get to play it and we can talk about it soon, so
okay.
that we can have some
Well,
thoughts on
I am not gonna try to bring up anything more about it. I'm just gonna move on and hope to God that
it.
you stay with us, all right?
Yes.
Moving on to our next story. It is a general rumor, but something that most fans believe to be existed. Final Fantasy IX Remake is all but confirmed. This comes from PCGamer.com, and this is pretty much just an article where the writer is talking about how we believe that this game is coming. We're fairly confident that this game is coming, especially off the success of Final Fantasy VII Remake and whatever is coming next for that series. We, as fans, are fairly convinced that Final Fantasy IX is the next remake, and I just wanted to sit down and talk about this because I cannot fucking wait if this is true, Logan. I love Final Fantasy IX. It is up there in terms of JRPGs for me. It is a return to form for Square Enix during that time frame that they were making Final Fantasy games. You had 7 and 8, which were both very heavily inspired by steampunk aesthetics and world design, and then Final Fantasy IX went back to the heavy, heavy emphasis on fantasy projects and a fantasy world for everybody to be a part of and to live in. So, do you have anything that you want to say about it? He might be gone, it looks like. So, all right, sorry about that. We are back up and running now. Sorry about the little hiccup. So, Logan, anything you want to say about Final Fantasy IX Remake? Are you excited about it? Are you going to play it? Are you ever going to give Final Fantasy a chance? Because I've been trying to get you to play them for years. So,
I mean, obviously, it's always exciting to see games come out and get a modern, look at it and new gameplay mechanics and etc. I'm still wanting to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, which did they ever come out with the second part? Because like, didn't they just make the
no,
first part?
dude,
Oh,
it takes the Square teams years to make Final Fantasy games. So, it'll probably say the game came out in 2020. I'm not expecting it before 2024.
because I want to play it whenever the second part comes out. I want to play it all together, the whole thing together. So that's my
Well,
plan.
the rumor is it's going to be a trilogy of a remake.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because part one, the remake that came out, only covers about 10% of the original game. It only
Wow.
covers the Midgar section, which in the original Final Fantasy is about 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours of gameplay in the original game, and that's the
Wow.
entirety of the remake. Dude, but it's so cool how they do, especially the story. The problem is the story is less cool if you don't know the original story and if you don't know the different changes and what they are kind of doing with this remake and bringing both of them together. It doesn't hit as good or as hard, but luckily I can explain why it's so cool to you.
Yeah, and I'm excited to give it a try. I mean, that's the one Final Fantasy game I've been wanting to try. And Final Fantasy 15 never really looked that exciting to me. I know it's really good. I heard a lot of good things about it. But
Well,
Final
okay,
Fantasy
well, hold
7
on. Let's
really
pump
excites me.
let's pump the brakes. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. It's not a great Final Fantasy game.
That's fair.
The last great Final Fantasy game before the remake was probably 12. Well, okay, I guess no, 14, the MMO remake, the one where they redid the MMO. So that one's a great Final Fantasy game. I'm just not an MMO guy, so all right.
Yeah, I'm still really excited though. But I mean, I'll keep my eye out on it, see what it looks like. Never again played any Final Fantasy games, so maybe I'll be interested. I mean, I have played a good portion of a Kingdom Hearts game, which I know is in the same realm as in gameplay wise. So I'm still wanting to try it out. So I'm hoping to try it out some point. But again, I'll probably wait till these remakes come out because if I try to play those old games, probably not gonna like them because they're very
Well,
old
yeah,
and they're
no, no.
very
I would
dated, and I just know I wouldn't be able to get into it.
I would just play the remakes, man. Honestly, and the
Yeah,
set 7 remake is so good, and the gameplay is so incredible. It's a perfect combination of old school RPG, Japanese RPG gameplay and current modern day RPG gameplay, like action stuff. So anyway, anything else you got?
no, nope,
All right.
nothing else.
Play the remake, please. Moving on to our
I will.
next story. It is a multi-part story. We're going to talk some more Star Wars. It came out last week that Amy Hennig, the original creator of the Uncharted series, finally gets another shot at making a Star Wars game. For those of you that don't know, she was a part of Visceral Games right before EA did its EA thing and chopped the head off that studio, where she was working on the Bounty Hunter game. If people remember Star Wars 1313, do you remember that game, Logan?
Oh, I do, and I really just want her to just be
She
like, "Hey, we're still making it, like please."
She was the leader of that game. Now it has come out that she has been with Skydance Media since 2019, and now they are confirmed to be making a completely original game set in the universe. For some reason, this sentence says Marvel Universe, but that confused the shit out of me. No, it is the Star Wars Universe where she is. It is a story-focused experience that will employ state-of-the-art computer graphics to provide the visual fidelity of television and film, but with an active, lean-in experience that puts the audience in the driver's seat. That doesn't sound like a third-person action adventure game to me,
Yeah,
which is what I want this game to be. But I think Amy Hennig's writing is incredible. It's that she is the person who created Uncharted, who created Nathan Drake, who created those characters. So I'm immediately on board. Obviously, it's Star Wars. I'm gonna always be immediately on board. So
I'm really curious. Just like I've been curious about that. I forgot the name of it already, but that cool trailer that came out, those dudes drumming. That game looks pretty cool. I don't remember the name of it now.
Eclipse,
Yes, Eclipse. I was about to say
made by Quantic
Moon.
Dream, which by the way, we're getting ready to start about that. So anything
Oh
else you
wow,
had?
jumping
What?
right
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, before we jump right into that, anything else you have to say about what they said this game was going to be? It was a weird sentence. Employ state-of-the-art computer graphics to provide the visual fidelity of television and film.
So basically, a cinematic storytelling game.
I mean, yeah, I
Basically,
guess so. Akin to, I mean, it is Skydance, so isn't Skydance the people that like now own?
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do own Telltale now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or am I
So
thinking? Or am I
maybe it
thinking of
is a
something different?
Telltale Star Wars?
Or am I thinking of someone different? Oh no, these are the people who made Saints and Sinners.
Oh, and we're gonna talk about that later. Oh,
Are we?
okay.
Oh yeah, we
We
are. Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Yeah.
because chapter 2. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
also is a Marvel Skydance Media project on their website.
So is it gonna be VR? Is that what it's gonna be?
No, I think they would say it would be VR. I think they would come right out and say that if it was going to
Okay,
be VR.
that's fair. Well, I'm still excited. I am always excited for new Star Wars games, but I also want to see it before I get excited. So, um, yeah, I mean, I hope it. I mean, from if she is, if she puts her expertise into it, just like Uncharted, I'm really excited. I want to see. I like her storytelling. Obviously, I like the Uncharted games, so I'm pretty excited to see what she does. I mean, personally, I would like a 1313, but I mean, I'll take whatever else she can get us, I guess. I just hope it doesn't get canceled like 1313 did. Rest in peace. That really cool looking game.
Speaking of Star Wars game, I wanted to take some time and go through every Star Wars game in development that we know of currently and judge these games on how excited we are to play them. So, like we always do, we give our excitement levels. So, I'm going to go through this starting with Star Wars Hunters, which is a free to play team based multiplayer game for Nintendo Switch and mobile platforms set in the same time period as The Mandalorian after the fall of the Galactic Empire. Its playable characters include a bounty hunter, a Wookiee, a droid, an Imperial soldier, a rebel, and a pair of Jawa brothers. Hunters will be the first console game developed by mobile gaming giant Zynga, which is set to be acquired by Take-Two. Logan, what is your hype level for Star Wars Hunters?
Um, I would say five out of 10. Um, I'm still excited to try it out. It looks like a fun, MOBA game. So, yeah, I'm willing to try it out whenever it comes out. I
I'm
mean, it's going to be a free to play, just hero based game. So it looks fun and it's Star Wars. So I'll give it a try. I'm not super stoked for it, but I'm still going to give it a try.
gonna give it a 2 in the hype level.
Dang,
I hate MOBAs. I don't like Zynga as a company, and
that's
then
fair.
the fact that they are developing the game. Grant, they're being bought by Take Two, so there's probably gonna be like some plus extra premium subscription service put onto it. So
Oh, I know. I know it's going to be free to
all
play. It's going to be a bunch of, pay to win stuff, but I'll still try it out. It's
right.
free.
So the next one, the one that I am most excited for, I think, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. A sequel to the 2019 Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is officially in development by EA Games and Lucasfilms, confirmed in early 2022. It'll be led by original game developer from the first game, Stig Asmussen, who, those of you who don't know any of your video game history, he worked for Sony Santa Monica and was the director on God of War 3. That's a little bit of video game knowledge there. So, Logan, I know you are completely opposite of me in that you did not like Fallen Order, the first one. However, are you excited for the next one?
I will, keep the lookout on it. I'll see what it does, and maybe they do some more interesting things that make me want to go and actually beat this one. Um, But yeah, I still want to beat the first one, but like it's just I don't know. It's just the way it's done really gets on my nerves, and it's really boring sometimes because it's a lot of walking back and forth. We've already talked about this, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I love
I
this game
will
so
I will
much.
keep my eye out on it. So yeah, what's your hype level?
Oh my! For the second one, 9 out of 10
Yeah,
easily.
9 out of 10.
I love Fallen. It's my second favorite Star Wars game. I loved Fallen Order. I love Metrovania style games. I liked that the combat was Dark Souls light esque, like it was challenging and difficult. But it didn't prevent me from enjoying the story, and the story was it wasn't phenomenal. It was a very very good Star Wars story, and that Order 66 scene. Oh my god, dude! That Order 66 scene was tear jerking. It hit hard. It hit like a brick wall. However, this being my second favorite game, my second favorite Star Wars game, the remake to my favorite Star Wars game is also next on the list. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, the acclaimed BioWare action RPG, being remade by Aspire exclusively for the PlayStation 5, is coming
For
out.
a short time.
It's coming out hopefully in 2023. Logan will finally get a chance to play the greatest Star Wars game ever made. Logan, what is your hype level? What are you excited? Are you excited? Are you going to play it? Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah.
I will say
I
it's
had nothing.
probably I would say 8 out of 10, but I'm really hoping they update the gameplay a bit.
Well,
I don't know how much they're going to update, but I'm really hoping they do because I think that'll be the thing that kind of makes or breaks on how excited I am because the gameplay is very dated from what I've seen, and obviously they're remaking it. So I mean, I would hope they would update it more. I'm excited. I don't think anything will probably. I don't know if it'll be my favorite Star Wars game of all time, but it'll probably be up there if it's really good. But I want
question.
to. I want to play. I've always wanted to play him.
Do you know any of the spoilers for Knights of the Old Republic?
No.
Good. Do not look at anything. The story is the most special part about this game. And Darth Revan, who is the main antagonist, is the most special part and the single most criminally underused character in all of Star Wars fiction. He's not really in that much, Darth Revan. But, I mean, this game is set 3,000 years before the original trilogy. So this is a time period that we don't get very often. So, but yeah, no,
Yeah, I'm so excited though.
I'm a 10 out of 10. I cannot wait. It says I don't think anybody, especially not you. I think if I gave this game an 8 out of 10, I think that might actually be surprising to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next up is Respawn, the same company that is making Jedi Fallen Order and its sequel is not rumored, to be confirmed making a Star Wars FPS. Let's see. Details may be scant, but oh my God, speak. But the director did provide some hints about what we can expect from the shooter, saying he's always been inspired by the classic Star Wars titles, Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2. I've never forgotten the emotion and excitement I felt playing an FPS inside the Star Wars universe. They are the defining experiences for many of us on the team and are a guiding light for this new project. First of all, he named the two. While Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2 are great, he named the wrong FPS. The real Star Wars FPS that everybody should play is Republic Commando, but
Or Battlefront.
Republic Commando's better. But
Uh,
Battlefront's third person.
well, that's fair. Unless
Yeah.
you play the new ones.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah.
no one needs to play the new ones. So. Oh, uh-oh.
Battlefront 2 is good.
It sounded like you broke something.
Oh, sorry. No, my leg
Okay.
hit my thing. So.
Wait, what? What?
Yeah, I hit my table.
What?
What? But no, Republic Commando is really good. It's a super good game. Definitely very old school, but it is probably one of the coolest clone trooper story out there.
Dude, I tried
I
playing
love
it
it.
last week. I tried playing it because I have it on Steam and the game is locked at 900p.
Yeah, we can. You can get on PlayStation, I believe, and it's higher resolution.
Yeah, I know, but that's like $14.99. I don't feel like paying for a game that I already own.
Really? It's 14.99. Oh my god.
Well, maybe it's
I
$9.99.
I spent like $5 on it on a sale on Xbox, and
Yeah,
it was great. I
it
mean, I
is.
played it back
It
on the
is.
old days, anyways. I put it on the original Xbox, and I loved it. And then now I officially beat it on the Xbox Series X, and I love it. So it's a really good game.
So,
I
what
love it.
is your hype level?
5.
5? Okay. I was gonna say, see, I thought I was going too low with 5 or 6, but like we just don't know anything about it. Like they say they give us, Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2, which are fantastic first-person shooters. It's not the best first-person shooter in Star Wars, like my opinion, but we just don't know don't know nothing. We don't know anything about it. Now, the only reason I would say 6, maybe pushing 7, is it is Respawn, and Titanfall 2 was an immaculate first-person shooter. So the fact that these guys are working on another first-person shooter in the Star Wars universe and kind of what that different gameplay and level design could entail, that's what gets me more excited than anything, not about the core concept of what this game could be.
It makes me sad because honestly, I'd almost rather them not be making a Star Wars game and making Titanfall 3. But
Nah,
we're never
Titanfall.
gonna get that because Titanfall 2 came out in the wrong time because
Yeah,
EA decided to put it at the same time as another giant, which was Battlefield 1.
two giants.
And that ruined it.
They
Yeah.
put it out right the week in between Call of Duty Then they put out Titanfall. EA put out Battlefield. Battlefront, yeah, Field.
I'm
Sorry,
pretty sure they came out the same day, if I
did they?
remember right. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it was because it was October 25th, I believe, was Titanfall's date. I don't fully
yeah,
remember, but yeah, no, they put that game out to die, 100%.
yeah, and it makes me really sad because honestly, Titanfall 2 was great. The multiplayer was awesome. Like it was really, really good, and we'll never get another one. And instead, we'll just have Apex Legends, probably the last remaining thing of that universe, which
The
sucks.
next one is the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game, which is the one that broke the barrier and everyone realized that EA no longer had a lock on it. This game is in development from Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment, which made the Division 2, and are currently working on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. It is being built in their own exclusive Snowdrop engine. If that matters anything, it does to me because Division is a beautiful game. It is an original Star Wars adventure that is different from anything that has ever been done before. Based off a couple job listings, we garnered that it is a action adventure RPG with as well as linear and non-linear stories. So with Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora game coming out in 2022, I'm guessing this game we see 2025, maybe at the earliest.
Yeah, I would probably say that. Yeah.
So, are you excited
If
for
I
an
had to,
open world Star Wars game made by the
if I had to put
guys
it,
that made Division and Division 2? Sorry, I'm almost done. I'm
oh
not
sorry.
done. I'm not done. There you go.
Yeah. If I had to put on a rating board, I'd put a 1 out of 10. Yeah. I'm not gonna give Ubisoft the benefit of the doubt. I think it's gonna be horrible, just like the Avatar game's gonna be horrible. I don't trust Ubisoft anymore. So they get a 1 out of 10 on hype level for me,
I don't
even if it's Star
trust.
Wars.
I don't trust most of Ubisoft. However, I will give the benefit of the doubt to Massive because they have made good games. The Division 2, from everything that I've heard from the people who like and don't like it, is a good game. And I'm still holding out hope that Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is sneakily one of the best games in 2022. If it comes out in 2022. I don't know if it will. So, that being a Ubisoft game, it starts at the highest tier of a 5 out of 10. I'm going
Yeah.
to give this game a 4 out of 10 because I believe that Massive can do it. And I believe that they show enough care about certain things they work on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Avatar will come out and it's terrible and it has no connection to the Avatar universe that we know and everything about it sucks. And that turns me into a 1 out of 10 for this next game. But I honestly don't believe that. I think Avatar is going to be, at the best, a good game. At its worst, I think it'll be a below average game. I don't think it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be amazing. I don't think it's going to blow anyone away, but I think it could be a good game. So I'm
I
going to
wish I
say
had that hope.
4.
I really wish I did, but they just keep making themselves look worse and worse.
Uh,
So
the,
I yeah.
the last one that I want to talk about because there's this Star Wars strategy game that I don't care about, but it is Star Wars Eclipse. The game made coming from Quantic Dream, the creators of Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain. This is set during the High Republic era, which is the first time we've ever gotten a Star Wars game in the High Republic area. With those of you who don't know your Star Wars lore, the High Republic area is about 300 to 400 years before the prequel trilogies. It's set during the highest point of the Jedi Order. And I am tentatively excited for this game, mostly because I like Quantic Dream, but what are you over here making popcorn?
No, Amy's making food.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
no,
only
you're
thing
fine.
I'm the
You're
only thing
fine.
I'm worried about is David Cage, the studio head of Quantic Dream, can sometimes be a pretty eccentric guy, and I don't really want him to get too crazy with Star Wars. I want to have a cool story in an era that we've never really seen before, but I don't want it to have the political ties that Detroit Become Human has, or have the parental and ideological examples that Heavy Rain has. I just want this to be a cool Star Wars story. And I hope he does that, but I am slightly worried that David Cage, being David Cage, won't do that. So I will say 7 out of 10.
I will say 6 out of 10. Really excited though. I mean, that's higher than over 5. That's above average. I'm pretty dang excited.
6 is more than 5. You are right.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep. Big math. Big
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah. Math
But
sucks.
yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the strategy game? Coming from Bit Reactor, I have no clue who that is. So,
I mean, I don't really know anything about it to be honest. But
seeing as the studio was just announced January 19th this year, I feel like it's gonna be a while till we see that game.
yeah.
So, all right, moving on to our next. Well, not story. There's a trailer came out earlier this week, last week. Sorry. Thor: Love and Thunder. We finally got the first look at the trailer. Logan, have you seen it?
I have.
Good. What did you think about it?
I don't know.
Really? I loved
Really,
how.
like I don't know what to think. Like I'm not saying it looks bad, but I kind of already knew it was going to go in a weird direction because I mean it's called Love and Thunder, and ever since they announced that name, I knew it was probably going to go down a weird route, just like way back. But
Well,
I
also,
don't
yeah.
know.
I mean,
I don't know if I'm really like stoked for this movie, but I'm still excited because it's Thor and it has Guardians of the Galaxy in it, and I was like, that's a really good combination, and I'm really excited for it. But the trailer is just really weird, and I'm really curious on where they're going to go with it. I mean, right now, personally, I just don't even know where Marvel's going, so I'm still trying to figure out where their target is other than the multiverse. So I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm definitely going to go see it in theaters, but I don't know if the trailer really made me super excited for it, like I thought it was going to. I thought it was pretty good,
yeah, I
is
don't
what I would
know if
say.
I was any more or less excited after seeing the trailer, but I was all it. The trailer confirmed my excitement because it was so different, and Ragnarok was very different than anything else we'd ever gotten in the MCU. So I wanted this to be the general same kind of thing. I wanted this to be unique and different of a movie, which I think we're gonna get, which would make a lot of sense because of who's making it. So it's the same team that made the original one. Oh, the original Ragnarok. Same team that made Ragnarok. So I generally thought it was cool. I think Lady Thor looked really good. I thought she looked not as much of a joke as I originally thought she was gonna look at the end of the trailer.
Yeah,
And I think just the vibe of the trailer, it's carrying on from what Ragnarok did, and I really loved Ragnarok a lot. So I believe it's in my top 5 of MCU movies. So I'm
yeah,
very excited.
Ragnarok was
Yeah, I'm
super good.
I'm very excited. I'm excited to see, we're getting the entirety of the Guardians, and we still got Guardians 3 coming out, so we get to see more of those characters, see what they're doing. I'll be interested to see how much it focuses on the storyline of what they do after Endgame, or is it just
Yeah,
going to
because
be
I'm curious
like,
about the Gamora thing.
yeah. But let me tell you what, dude, I was dying laughing over the quote unquote training sequence montage when he's just
Oh yeah,
doing the battle ropes with the chains. God, that was so cool. I loved it. I can't wait. I am very excited about this movie.
I
I
am
am,
excited, but I just think the trailer wasn't as exciting as I was hoping it to be. But
yeah,
I am still very excited for this movie.
yeah. So for me, he said it reaffirmed my excitement because of what I believed this movie was going to be and what I hoped it was going to be, and the trailer just reaffirmed that. So, but I mean, as we've said time and time before, the MCU is like Star Wars. It doesn't matter how much they fuck up. I'm still gonna be there for the next thing they put out. You know,
Yeah,
like I'm just there for it. I'm not doing anything different. So, moving on to our conjoining story. And this is one that I don't know how much you have to say about it, but oh, why can't I think? Crystal Dynamics announced that Jane Foster's Thor is going to be the next playable character in Marvel's Avengers. If you can't tell by the tone of my voice, I am not very happy with this one. Although it is what we expected as fans of the game, we knew that they were going to bring out a character that was a clone character. The rumors were
Yeah.
Jane Foster's Thor's, Yelena's widow, or I forgot who the other one was.
What's She-Hulk? Where's She-Hulk? I thought She-Hulk was supposed to come
Well,
out.
She-Hulk is rumored to be the next big expansion, like Black Panther was, like the actual massive expansion to the game, or big expansion to the game. That is still rumored to be coming in summer. Well, I guess we'll find out. But this is not the clone character that I wanted. I wanted Yelena. I wanted another Widow character. Um, Now they have said that she's going to be different. She's going to have her own suit of abilities. While they also say they'll have a lot in common with Thor's abilities. So I don't know if you can't tell by the tone of my voice. This is not what I wanted to happen.
I mean,
I wanted
I'm not gonna
Yelena.
lie. I just think it's really dumb that they keep doing this copy stuff. Like, how many Avengers are there out there now? You could choose from all of them, and you keep just making copy characters. And I don't really feel like that's new. Like, yeah, they may have slight like Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. I don't really think they're that big of a
In
difference.
the defense,
I mean, yes,
those two characters are actually quite different. They are
but
both they both shoot arrows, yes, but they in terms of like the way you play them based off their like the move set and how their heroics work, if you want to play them properly, they do play very different from each other. Hawkeye is a heavy support character, and he thrives in the support role with some ability to dish out very heavy damage if you build him with the right sort of gear. Whereas Kate Bishop is honestly just not that good of a character.
yeah, I
But they
don't know
do
why they
play
didn't
different.
just yeah, I don't know. I mean, just why don't you just bring something new? Like, why do you have to make another Thor? Why do you gotta make another Widow? Why don't you just bring a new character? And I know probably helps them with cutting down on cost. They just have to literally copy, paste, make some new abilities, and boom, that's a new character. But I don't know. I'm just, I mean, I don't play Avengers anyway, so honestly, anything they come out with anymore, I don't really care. But this just shows even more how, like, just lazy they are. I feel like I just don't really find having another Thor is really a need.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I'm gonna,
whatever.
you know me, I'm gonna jump in there and I'm gonna get her to 150 and I'm gonna figure out the best way to play her. But it's not gonna be the Spider-Man update for me, where Spider-Man was like a character that was like very different, and I fell in love with playing as that character. Like, yeah, the swinging was whatever. I used to actually, I actually personally thought it was fine. It wasn't as good as Insomniac, but I never thought it was going to be. So,
Yeah.
but when it comes out, I'm gonna play it. Whatever, I guess. It's not what I wanted to happen, but I kind of saw it coming because I was like, well, if they were gonna put out Yelena, you think they would put it out much closer to when Hawkeye came out. So the fact that it still wasn't out yet, I kind of expected it to be Jane Foster's Thor. Even though what sucks is we're still not getting it until like 3 or 4 updates down the road. So I guess this thing's coming out in summer and She-Hulk's coming out in November. By the way, they said in November that they were gonna have a like a plan or a roadmap by the end of 2021. We still have not gotten that roadmap yet. So
Yeah, that's the whole live
service
service
for you.
industry that we
Let's
have. Yeah.
let's hope somebody other than Bungie can figure this shit out. Well, I guess that's not fair.
Yeah.
There are studios that are decent at it, but not not Crystal Dynamics. They're not very good at it. All right, moving on to our next story. Battlefield 2042 finally gets voice chat. It says voice chat has finally arrived in Battlefield 2042 5 months after it launched in November of last year. The feature won't let you speak with everyone online, though, as channels are limited to either squad or party chat. It arrives in Battlefield 2042's Update 4.0, coming today, well, April 19th, so coming last week, which included hundreds of other fixes and adjustments as detailed in Developers Dice's latest blog post. Logan, being the Battlefield guy, Is this a good thing or just like just a thing that they should have had at launch?
um,
So
definitely should have had it at launch. Um, but I guess they finally did it. Thumbs up. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they even ever fixed the scoreboard yet, but
actually, just thinking
I
about
can,
that, I was like, I wonder if they can, if you can see the amount of kills you have yet.
yeah, it's so depressing. Like, how? Like, I was one of those people. Yes, I know. Very sadly, I tried to protect this game, and yeah, I was dumb. I was young, stupid, didn't understand. Now, I'll probably wait till they finally actually add new maps and stuff. It's gonna be one of those games I'm gonna wait for a long time, and then they're probably gonna kill this game mid live service. They're gonna give us everything that was in the paying for the full version, and then they're just gonna cut live service, and they're just gonna say it failed, and then just as always, just like Battlefield 5, they're just gonna cut it off, and they're just gonna be like, well, we're making something else. We're moving everybody to another project. So yeah, I'm I'm really sad because Battlefield's like one of my favorite shooters. I would almost say it's more of my favorite than Call of Duty. I like it a lot. I've always loved Battlefield. And to see it die like this, it's dying a very painful death. And it just seems to get worse. And I don't get how they went from Battlefield 1 to this. Heck, I don't even know how they went from Battlefield 5 with all the fixes and all the criticism to this. So, yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to think about it anymore. I mean, I'll probably play it when they actually add new stuff. I'll probably get back into it. I think they finally added XP gain to the whole portal mode, but I'm not sure. Again, I don't really keep up with this game anymore. I've been too busy playing other games that are actually finished with all of its features. So I guess we'll see.
Hey, I know you get tired of hearing me say this to you about this game, but I fucking told you so.
Yeah. Well, they all got a dream.
Hey,
Sometimes dreams get
hey,
crushed.
we just talked about Avengers, so granted,
Yeah.
my dreams aren't crushed with that game. I still find enjoyment out of that game, even though it is dumb and its flaws. Granted, I mean, I'm pretty much done. I mean, I got 330 hours in that game, so the difference is you enjoy Battlefield for what 70 hours, and
Yeah.
you just can't go back into it. I think it's a little light for a multiplayer.
Yeah. I want to go back into it though whenever they add maps. I am going to give it another try. I'll probably just mostly play Portal because just the whole specialist system, I tried to protect it. I thought it wasn't that bad, but the more I play, the more I just start to notice how bad it really is. Like it's just I thought, I mean, I didn't think it was a great idea, but I thought, maybe it isn't as bad as I thought it was. And then it just gets worse. And it kind of takes away what Battlefield's all about. So, yeah. I mean, at least they have Portal. At least they added that so you can play Portal and play the old Battlefield games with cool little bonuses and stuff. So that's the good part about the game. I will not say those parts are bad. It's just the actual game isn't the greatest.
All right. Well, for those of you that are out there still enjoying Battlefield 2042, way to hang on, man. You got a tight grip. So I'm sure you're excited about being able to finally talk to people without the use of a third-party audio source. Moving on to our next story, the MetaQuest.
Wait, wait, real quick. At
Just
least
kidding.
the player count isn't as bad at least as that one game that came out not long ago. What was that one game?
Oh, the golf game we talked about.
Uh, Babylon's Fall or whatever.
Oh yeah, the three people. That was rough, dude.
That is truly the fastest death to ever exist. I feel like.
Okay, well, first of
Oh
all,
man,
you gotta live before you can die, truly. And
that's
I don't know
fair.
if we can count that game as ever truly living. So
That's fair.
yeah, that was
Sorry about that.
no, that was cool. That was very funny when I read that. I just laughed. All right, the MetaQuest Gaming Showcase came out last week and announced a bunch of games in VR. Logan, you being the Quest guy, I'm just going to read the games and then you're going to give me your response to them. And that's how this is going to go, okay?
All right.
All right, first off, Ghostbusters VR announced players will run through their very own Ghostbusters HQ in a new city, San Francisco, and solve a deep mystery across a new chapter in the Ghostbusters universe. It also supports 4-player co-op, so one question remains. Who are you going to call?
Not Ghostbusters.
What?
Because this game looks okay to me.
What?
I'm just I don't know. It really looks okay to me. I love Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. This sounds like a dream come true, but just watch the trailer
I
and just
did.
see it doesn't look like the environments are that interesting. They seem like basic foundry lab. I mean, again, this is the first showcase, so maybe they're going to do some cool things. Like I wanted to see hotels. I wanted to see more natural environments, not just foundries and labs. And that's why I'm not that excited for it because I have a feeling that's all it's going to be. So I don't know. Maybe that is I want it to be good because I love Ghostbusters and I want to be wrong. But it looks like all the levels are just foundries and labs, and that's kind of boring because I don't want to just catch ghosts and labs and stuff.
Fair
So I
enough.
don't know.
I also think this game is pretty far away because it is so similar to a Phonics game that's coming out
Oh yeah,
later.
that weird.
No, it's not
Oh
weird.
yeah, I know. Oh yeah,
Phonic,
no,
you
I thought you
know.
were talking about the bad Ghostbuster game that came out like a couple of years ago.
No,
That was like
Ilphonic.
top down.
If Ilphonic is making a game in their like asymmetric multiplayer style, like Friday the 13th, and they made Predator before that, Predator Hunting Grounds.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah,
those are the type of games that they make. So, which is this sounds 4-player co-op. That's exactly what that game is. So it's a little
yeah.
weird that there's two very similar games, which is what makes me think that this is a couple years away because they don't want to release it so closely to what Ilphonic is doing. What also makes me think that this is a couple years away, or at least a year away, is I firmly believe that this is going to be a launch game for PSVR 2. I mean, Sony owns the Ghostbusters IP. So,
Huh. I
and
didn't know that. Oh
yeah,
yeah, duh. Sony
I
Pictures.
I
Yeah.
think the only reason that they announced it here is just because Sony's not ready to talk about VR2 yet. So they just said, "Hey, let's get this announced, and then that'll be a part of our launch lineup." So we'll see. And then who knows? Maybe it'll look a lot better and have a lot more detail on the PSVR 2 than it will the Quest 2. I don't know.
Well,
So
maybe they'll show more gameplay too. Because I
yeah,
mean, I'll be more excited when they show more environments. I think that's the only thing that's keeping me from being excited. But again, it was at the very end of the showcase, and it was just kind of like a ooh, Ghostbusters is coming, and it's like, oh okay. I was more excited for another game we're going to talk about later. So,
so next up, Resident Evil 4: The Mercenaries VR is out today and brings the fan favorite mode to MetaQuest 2. If you guys didn't know, Mercenaries is the Horde mode, let's call it. The Horde mode for Resident Evil 4 and every Resident Evil game after that is one of my favorite modes in one of my favorite games of all time. Now, Logan, we have talked endlessly off and on the show about how I implore you to please don't play this game in VR first. But are you excited that Mercenaries is coming even though you don't really know what it is? So,
what? I know what Mercenaries is. You know it's in Resident Evil 5.
yeah, I know. I said it's in every single Resident Evil game after 4.
Oh yeah. I mean, I played Mercenaries before. I love it. Mercenaries is really fun. I'm actually really excited for this. I mean, I still don't have Resident Evil 4, but at some point I will get it down the
Yeah,
line. I do want to play it
when
on there.
when the remake comes out, and then you can play it on VR afterwards.
Well, if they do announce the remake, yeah, I'll definitely be playing that probably before the VR one.
We got to be getting it shortly, right? I mean,
I would hope so.
RE2 remake, RE3 remake, RE8. We got to be getting RE4 shortly. God, I hope so. That'll be my game of the year.
Dude, that game will be
I love
up
Resident Evil
there
4 so much,
for
dude.
sure.
Well, honestly, what's funny, if you play like a PC port or something like that, and you don't pay too much attention to the texture details on the walls, the game still is 100% playable today, 17 years later.
Oh, I bet.
The game's fantastic, dude. The game's amazing. All right, next up, the game that I know you want to talk about, The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners 2, Saints and Sinners Chapter 2: Retribution. brings you back to New Orleans to face a bloodthirsty threat. It says we'll bring players back to the streets of a post-apocalyptic New Orleans and promises to be even more more deadly than the first time around. What does this mean for the player? Among other things, players will have to deal with fewer resources, more walkers, and a new bloodthirsty treat that will haunt you across the city. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution will arrive later in 2022.
Very excited. First game is awesome. Like, I mean, if you ever truly want to play a VR game and really experience what VR will hopefully be in the next couple years, this is definitely one of those games. It is phenomenal. It feels really good to play. I mean, it's just super cool. I mean, like just stabbing a zombie in the head, it feels super realistic, and you have to actually put some momentum into your force, into like what you're doing, and then like pulling it out. It's not easy. Like you have to actually put like you either can try to pull it out with your hand, or you put your hand on the head and pull it out, and it just feels super realistic and super fun. I love it. It's really good, like super good. This is probably the best Walking Dead game to, other than the Telltale games, to ever come out with the IP on it, and it is super cool. And the storytelling is really awesome. Highly recommend the first one. Haven't fully beat it, but I still am enjoying it. I occasionally play it. It's the game I could play for a little bit. I take a break for a little bit and then go back at it, because it can be, if you don't play a lot of VR, and I take big breaks from VR. I definitely need to take a break from it because it does give a little bit of motion sickness, because it's got that very realistic approach to it where like you can climb things and literally you're not actually climbing in real life, so it can really get to you. But yeah, awesome game, super good, and I can't wait for this one. The new weapons and new things they're doing in it looks super cool. They're bringing a chainsaw into it. Can't wait to see how that feels. Yeah, really excited for it. I can't wait to actually play it. I still need to beat the first one, but when I beat the first one, I'm really excited to play this one. So
Next up on the list, NFL Pro Era, the first officially licensed VR NFL game that will don't laugh that will allow players to lead their favorite teams to the Super Bowl. NFL Pro Era will put players in the shoes of a quarterback to partake in drills, play catch with friends online in NFL stadiums, and play on the biggest stage in a real NFL game. Well, this seems stupid.
yeah,
I was gonna say, this seems
did you
dumb.
watch the trailer for it?
No, I definitely did not watch a trailer for
I
it.
mean, it basically just looks like a quarterback game. Like you play the quarterback. That's what you do.
It
That's
reminds
basically
me
what you do.
of back in the day, the best football game ever made, ESPN 2K5, had a first person mode, and it was really difficult but cool and pretty disorienting. And I remember people were like, "Oh, how cool would it be, like, if you could do this, like, in your head." So here you go. Here's your chance, people.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not excited for it at all,
Oh no, me
but
neither.
maybe there's something to it. Maybe when it comes out, people you will have to see. But I'm not really excited for it. But I'm happy that they're trying to put more like different games out for VR, like sports games. Like there aren't really a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
sports games out there right now, so to see sports games slowly get in there, I maybe this is a good step forward, but maybe clearly there's probably things that need to be fixed with it. Maybe things need to be added. Maybe they can learn from this experience. I don't know how well it's going to do,
And who
but
knows?
hopefully it does well enough. I don't
Maybe
know.
maybe this is a $10 to $15 just, a weekend experience with the friends. Who knows? Maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe it won't be worth it. I don't see this as being, the next thing that people do. They get online and play this. But what do you want, dog? My dog wants to play catch. Oh, all right. Next up, Among Us VR will finally make its way onto virtual reality with a lot more sus. That's it. This game originally got announced back at the Game Awards 2021, and it features all the backstabbing goodness fans have come to expect from the series. It also looks apparently a lot more intense in VR. Did you ever play Among Us?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, shit was
I
fun.
think my only thing that I had a problem with the game, and they never added it, but I mean, most people that play it mostly anyways are PC, is just the fact that voice chat isn't a thing. I think text chat is kind of annoying because it's hard to portray what you have to say. I think that's the only issue I have with the game, but it is very fun. Like sitting in a room with a bunch of friends playing it in a private lobby is really, really fun. And to hear it's coming to VR actually sounds really fucking fun. I mean, I'm really excited for this actually. Like it could be really good. I'm wondering if they're going to do voice chat now with this or how they're going to do text chat within VR because it's going to be a little hard to do, but who knows? I guess we'll see. Still excited for it though. I wonder how much they're going to charge for it. I haven't looked yet, but hopefully it's like $5. But who knows? We'll see.
All right, next, Moss Book 2 was originally released on the PlayStation VR and is now set to arrive on MetaQuest 2 in summer 2022. This new entry will continue the story from the first game and will see Quill going on another adventure to end the merciless rule of the Arcane and save the world from the Great Unmaking. I'm excited that you finally get a chance to play one of the best games. Well, I guess the first one, but theoretically one of the best games in VR. Moss is so good, dude. I love Moss so much. And the only reason why I haven't played the second one is because I really don't feel like going through the trouble or bringing out my PSVR and hooking up all them damn cables. So,
That's fair. I'm not excited for this game, but you know, for the people that like that stuff, it's cool.
dude,
That's
I'm
not the
telling you.
VR experience I want. I don't really find that a VR experience that exciting.
What do you mean?
So I don't know. It just looks like you play stuff with your hands, you interact with little things. I don't know. It's not. It looks like a game you can play on your controller, which I'd probably almost prefer just playing it on a controller than playing it in VR.
Well, you
I don't know.
you do play with the controller. You play with the controller in the VR headset.
Yeah, but I mean, you could just put it. I don't know. It looks okay.
No,
I'm
dude.
not that excited.
I'm telling you, it does so many cool things with the VR, but I'm not gonna sell it on you
That's
because
right.
if you don't want to do it, then you're not gonna do it. So, Bone Labs builds. Wait, what was this? Write up makes no fucking sense. Oh, Stress
Yeah, I
Level
don't know.
0 has announced Bone Lab, a follow-up to Bone Lab.
It's Boneworks. I don't know why they put Bone Labs twice. It's follow up to Boneworks. They
Okay.
seem to not know how to write stuff.
Yeah, shit, that confused the hell out of me. So, a next
Yeah.
level interaction engine with near boundless player freedom. It also adds a new story and 2 years of innovation and interaction engine process. Okay, I can't read from this no more. Dude, Jesus, that's rough. You want to just go on to the next one?
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no. This game is I am so excited for this game.
really?
Like I
Okay.
am unbelievably excited for this game. The for first thing, their Boneworks game that came out before this is truly, and most people will agree with you, other than the Half-Life game, that is the most impressive VR game to ever come out. It is the most impressive one. It has by far the most realistic and just awesome physics-based VR thing, and it came out before Half-Life did. So Boneworks was doing it before even Half-Life did it, and it is, if you ever get a chance to look it up, it is basically Half-Life, basically before Half-Life Alex ever came out. It is literally this questionable story that you play through within this, like this universe. It's got a very hardcore Half-Life vibe, in my opinion, to it. It's like this weird stuck in a virtual reality kind of thing. It's got that Prey and Half-Life vibe, and it just looks so good. And finally, they're coming out with the sequel, and the first one did come out on the Quest 2 because I don't think they could have had it run. But this one is, and they're gonna still keep it with all the physics and everything, and it's coming to the Quest 2, and I am unbelievably excited for this game. I literally cannot wait. I mean, if you watch the gameplay on it, all the things you could do, all the crazy ways you can approach things and stuff, it is amazing. I mean, truly, Boneworks is the Breath of the Wild of VR with how interactive and crazy and different things you could do. So this was the game that I was the most excited for in this showcase. I've been waiting for this game to be announced and shown off for so long. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for this.
Well, okay. That took me by surprise. I am glad to hear that you're excited about that. Well, Cities 2, build the city of your dreams. Cities 2, no, wait, what am I talking about? Cities VR will help players build the city of their
Cities
dreams
2.
and see it in a way they've never been able to do so before. Oh my God. Anyway, it's out in 4 days. I would be excited about this if I had a quest because I like city builders, so I would be excited about this. I don't know if you like city builders or not, but
I do like city builders, so it'd be kind of cool. This would be I think the first one that they ever come out with on. Well, other than I think there's another one that came out recently, but yeah, this is gonna be I think the first city builder to ever come out on at least the Quest. So I'm excited to see it.
Beat Saber adds some new stuff. That's all I got there. Uh,
I mean, yeah, that's really all you need to say because yeah, I mean, yeah, new music. Woo.
Red Matter 2 got sorry. Red Matter 2 got announced and will pick up right where the original left off and will take you across our solar system. As those who have played it will remember, the original Red Matter left players with a cliffhanger that has made the wait for the announcement of the sequel that much harder. Now, this next entry is even closer to release and promises to take players across our solar system from a base of our own space station orbiting above Saturn's rings and beyond. There will once again be a huge focus on puzzles in Red Matter 2, but this time it will give players more tools and a better jetpack to help solve them.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
supposedly a very visually impressive game, but yeah, it's all about puzzles. So if you like puzzles, that's the game. It looks visually impressive though. If you look up the first one, it's really good looking. But yeah.
Aspire 2 is set to build off the International Espionage Foundation set by 2019's Aspire 1 VR operative, but this time it will feature a separate co-op campaign that will bring players back to locations from the first game. It will also tell a side story that fills the gaps between between the two main entries. Aspire 2 single player campaign will task players with locating and stopping an untraceable supersonic missile that is a true doomsday device by using high-tech gadgets and more. They said will, but I knew they meant with.
Yeah, what is going on? Yeah,
I
will
had to
task
change.
players will locating what?
I
This
said
is
with because I
IGN.
was.
Who is writing this?
I'll tell you in 5 seconds. What do you think about Aspire 2?
Never played the first one, but I know the first one was like heavily about stealth gameplay and like the weird things you can do with like interacting in like encounters with like for example popping out your mag and
By the
throwing a
way,
mag across the room.
Adam Bankhurst wrote this.
Well, Adam Banker maybe use some kind of program to help with fixing some of your words because yeah, will task players will locating is it's a little rough. Yeah.
I got Grammarly for that.
Yeah, grammar, yeah.
You want to do a last one? Become a
Yeah.
powerful wizard in the narrative-driven adventure Runes Magus. Runes Magus will let players wield magic in VR and give them the chance to grow from a novice wizard into a powerful spell-wielding magus in a narrative-driven adventure that will send players deep below the city of Grand Aminus. Aminus? Whatever. Rune Magus will also feature 26 fully voiced quest. Wait, fully voiced quest. That was an odd way to say that. With the voice talent from these, like some people that I can't pronounce their names, and I'm not going to try to pronounce their names. So this seems kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. They've been coming out with some pretty cool like RPG games lately. Like there's this really cool MMO style game that came out that a lot of people say is really good. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's like Township Tales or something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I heard they've been coming out with some pretty cool RPG style games as of lately, and that's exciting. I like seeing that there's more and more VR games coming out. So especially that freaking Bone Labs game, I literally can't wait. Like I think that's when is that supposed to come out?
Oh no, I
I don't
clicked
think
off.
it has a date.
I clicked off the webpage. Sorry.
That's fair. Well, hopefully this year, because if it does, yeah, I literally can't wait. Nope, it doesn't have anything on here. So, yeah, if it comes out this year, it might be close considered to one of my game of the years because I'm very excited for it. Like I'm
Or it could
extremely
flop
excited.
and suck like Cyberpunk.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but I have faith in them, so we'll
That's
see.
good. Our second to last story, Gearbox announces a new Tales from the Borderlands game coming in 2022. So announced during the Gearbox PAX PAX East panel, CEO Randy Pitchford said this new game will be fully revealed in the summer, but in the meantime, they shared a teaser image, and it's a big A, the Borderlands signal with some characters. Did you ever play Tales from the Borderlands?
Oh yeah, it's my favorite Telltale game.
Dude, it's so good.
I love it.
I'm so excited about this. Interesting that they are making it themselves now instead of obviously Telltale.
Yeah, that's strange. I'm really curious on how it's gonna look, how it's gonna play, how good the storytelling is. But who knows? So
Yeah.
I'm excited though, nonetheless, because the first game was so freaking good, like so good, and I highly recommend anyone, even if you've never played a Borderlands game. Well, actually, it'd probably be better if you did play them, but still, phenomenal. The story is super good. The characters are really good. It's just awesome. What about you?
I mean, yeah. I'm sorry. I was actually doing something that I probably don't want to say on the internet. But
What?
what? Oh yeah, no, I'm very excited. Tales of the Borderlands isn't my favorite Telltale game. That is The Wolf Among Us. I mean, I love this game. To be fair, ranking my Telltale games is really hard because like they're the same game, but every single one of them is like different. That was a really dumb statement, wasn't it?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's like I guess I don't know. I'm having troubles quantifying what I'm trying to say here. I like all of them so much, but they're all for different reasons. Like I love Tales for the Borderlands because of how good the characters were and how funny it was. I love The Wolf of Wall Street. That's not what I meant to say. I love The Wolf
Wolf
Among
Among
Us.
Us.
I love The Wolf Among Us because of the wholly unique world that they developed. I love Batman because it's set in a world that we recognize so handily, but everything in that world is unrecognizable to us as fans. Um, Game of Thrones sucked, so we're not going to talk about that. But
Yeah, sadly.
Guardians of the Galaxy, another one that uh, I love that mostly because of the different interactions you can make with the characters. So it's like each one of them is the same thing, but I love it for different things that it did well. That's what I was trying to say.
I
Uh,
get you though. I get you though. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
all right, let's move on to sorry, excitement level.
Definitely. Honestly, 10. Well,
I'm gonna say 8.
I'm gonna bring it down to a 9
I say 8 because
because
I don't
it's
know
made by
how.
them.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna make. Are they gonna make it in the exact same style? Obviously, in a new. Obviously, it's gonna be in a new engine, probably their own engine. But like, or are they gonna try to change the formula a little bit? I don't know. We'll see. But that's why I
Or
say
what if
8.
it's gonna be? What if it's gonna be an actual Borderlands game? You know.
I don't. I don't think so.
I hope not, but I mean, who knows anymore?
All right, let's move on to our last story before we get into some movie talk. Oh, this one's a interesting one, and I don't know how you're gonna feel about it, but both Sony and Microsoft have announced that they are going to be putting ads into the game, reading from Logan Plant's article after last week's report that Xbox is looking to include more advertisements in free-to-play games. It seems PlayStation is also testing the waters for its own advertisement program. According to Advertising Insider, Sony wants to encourage developers to create free-to-play games by adding this way to monetize them beyond microtransactions and battle passes. Similar to what we know about Xbox's programs, the goal for Sony is for the ads to fit in with the rest of the game, like putting real life ads on billboards in virtual sports stadiums. Sony is also looking into rewarding players for watching ads and promotions with in game items, including avatar skins. So, what do you think about this?
So, I have. The thing is, I don't have a problem if they add advertising in their game. So, as in the fact that I mean that it's the way that they put the advertisements in the
Yeah.
game.
Uh,
That's where
let
my
me
comment.
let me quantify mine real quick because mine's easily quantifiable. I do not have a problem with this as long as they don't make it invasive in any way. If
Like for
they,
example, if you read to the bottom, if it's like NBA 2K21 where they add unskippable ads
oh yeah,
in their loading
that
screens,
that was awful.
that will make me mad.
But
I will
you
not. I don't like that.
UFC's ads that they put in, that EA put in, I actually think was a decent way to do it. I know fans hated that, and I know they outcried, but I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, they put it on the mat itself, and they put it in the little
Yeah,
counter
wait.
at the at
Yeah,
the
that's not bad.
at the bottom of the screens. I mean, fans outcried because fans outcry. They don't want ads in video games, and I kind of get that, but I also thought the way that EA did it with UFC wasn't really that bad. It wasn't invasive. It wasn't in your face. My only hiccup and my only hesitation is once they start making money from this, how invasive are they going to get with it? And
Yeah,
that and
and
that's
also how much are they going to let the ads control them too?
yeah,
That's the other
it's
worry
kind of that
because
thing that
YouTube turned into what it is because of them letting ads turn them into what they are today. So, and it's both good and bad. So, that's where I think of this too. It's both good and bad. Like I think it's good because maybe it will soften, I guess, the microtransactions in that. Maybe, possibly.
I
I mean,
mean,
that's like
I was thinking
really
about it and
wishing.
like even if we're playing like GTA 6 and there's real life ads that Rockstar sells or Take Two sells to put in that game, I'm fine with that as long as it's in like billboards and other things throughout the world. I'm
Yeah, like if they
honestly
put a real car from like a real person in there, like,
or just
hey,
like the next big Marvel movie takes out a billboard in GTA 6. That's cool with me. I don't care. That's not going to bug me
yeah,
one bit. I think that's actually kind of interesting and cool in a way. But like then there's also, if they do it the NBA way where you can't skip them and you can't avoid them if you don't want to know they're there, or how invasive does all this become in 1 year, 2 years,
yeah. If it, what if it starts becoming like mobile games where literally
Yeah.
you play for like 2 seconds
And
or
something
you
pops
get
up on
finish
the
the
corner of the
game,
screen,
yeah, and
yeah.
it says, oh, you if you want to skip, you have to pay for the ad free version. Like, are you serious? Like that would, that's gross. So I'm hoping that's not where they go with this, which is the reason why I'm iffy on it. Like I don't have a problem with it if they don't do it in a bad way. Like again, like how you've been saying with it putting on billboards, putting it on the mats like any other UFC thing. Like I don't have a problem with that. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me. That's what they do in the real UFC.
And yeah, well,
So that's kind of fits in.
yeah, and that's kind of the way that I'm kind of thinking about it. Is like as long as they make it in honestly a real world interpretation. Like there are plenty of ads out there in the real world as you're driving around town, as you're going around town, that you can just completely ignore if you want. Sometimes you don't even recognize that they're there. But if something does catch your eye, if you do see, say you're walking around downtown and you see a poster for something like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll try that out. Maybe I'll go in and eat that, or maybe I'll watch that movie. So those are perfectly fine. But like, if we're walking around downtown and some dude with a sign jumps out of an alley and says, "Hey, buy this shit now," and I have to punch him in the face to get him away, that's when it becomes a little concerning.
Yeah,
I rambled
it
there,
would be
but
pretty funny to punch them. but
I have an
uh, but
I have an
uh,
imaginative
uh,
mind, let me tell you.
but I do agree with that. I think literally again I have no problem with them doing it as long as they don't do it in a very egregious way. And that's my only worry with this because I mean that's what microtransactions started off. They started off very minor and they became really bad throughout the years. So that's the only scary thing about advertisements is that I mean as long as they don't put it in their actual games unless again they put it in a not so bad way like again I don't get how you pay money for NBA 2K21 you still have to watch ads. Like I don't get that. You pay $70 for that game and they put unskippable ads and loading screens and people still tolerate it. How I don't get how people do that. I would literally like just go back to wherever I got it and just return it. Like I don't want to play that. But free to play games, I understand they got to make money. I mean, they're free to play for a reason.
Yeah.
They're freemium, as if you know like South Park or anything. It's a freemium game, so it's free. Yes, you could play it, but they have to make money in some way or form. So maybe this will help. Maybe it won't help. Maybe it'll make things worse. I guess we'll see. But As long as they do it the proper way, I could care less. So, but yeah.
So anything else?
What about you?
I'm
No,
I'm done.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, I've said what I said. Like I'm fine with it. It says as long as it doesn't become invasive. My biggest fear is that they'll start non-invasive. They'll start with the things that we're talking about and the way we're talking about them, and then once they start seeing $1, $2, $3 million could roll in that they don't even have to do anything for, do they gonna go? Well, I mean, it's just like every company out there. Like, well, let's see how much money we can make from this, you know?
Yeah, that's my
And
only
that,
worry.
yeah, that's my biggest fear. But I guess there's nothing we can do except hope and pray that shitty companies don't act shittily.
Yeah.
So, moving on to a last thing, we're going to talk some movies here and there, and I just wanted to sit down and talk about that Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore. As most of us read, Warner Brothers had previously stated that they were waiting to see how this movie performed to decide if they were going to move forward or not with the franchise. And I will say this. Thank God the rest of the world doesn't have to listen to J.K. Rowling. Because if it wasn't for the rest of the world, this movie would have failed so hard. I want to give you some numbers. So obviously we all know opening weekend 43 million, franchise low as compared to Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, which opened to 169 million. So that's a little different. The first movie opened to, I believe, 80 million. Second movie opened to in the 60s, and the third movie opened in the franchise low $43 million. I'm gonna read you some numbers. Domestically, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, after 2 full weeks of being in the movie theaters, has grossed $67 million.
Jeez. Okay.
Which is terrible, right?
Yeah.
This movie is being saved. Internationally, it has grossed 213 million.
Wow.
This
How
movie
okay.
this movie is being saved by the rest of the world. In comparison, after 3 weeks of being in theaters, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 domestically has grossed $146 million.
Dang.
And in the United States,
Okay.
Fantastic Beasts only beat Sonic by 13 million, even in Sonic's second weekend. But I will tell you, Sonic is not as popular in the rest of the world as it has only grossed 142 million, putting the totals at 287 million for Sonic and 280 million for Fantastic Beasts.
Dang.
Both of them,
Um,
both of them somehow trail Uncharted, which somehow managed to gross almost $400 million. I have no clue how that movie did that.
I don't know either, but hey,
Good
it
on it.
did.
Hey, Morbius, 156. Fucking terrible. Paltry.
How much did they? I wonder how much it cost to make Morbius.
Oh, the
I'll
budget?
look that up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I have no clue. Probably a lot. Doesn't seem like a super cheap movie to make. Production budget doesn't seem to doesn't seem to have any information on that here.
Let's see how much it
But
costs.
anyway,
So it costs 110 million, supposedly, to make Sonic 2, which they made 200. So they made double
oh yeah, no.
what it cost to make. So yeah,
Yeah. No. They already announced Sonic 3 was coming out. So, like they
good.
made the money that they wanted to make and they're making the next movie. So, like good on them. Good for Sega, good for Sonic. It's becoming part of mainstream media, which is great. I love Sonic as a character. Granted, their games haven't been really anything to speak of as of late, but um super good news. So, but I want to switch gears and just talk about Fantastic Beasts. And if you think, even with the international reception, and it seems that it's going to make its production budget back, whether it makes its marketing budget back, and whether it makes enough money to satisfy Warner Brothers. What do you think? They have stated that they're going to wait a couple weeks to make a final decision.
That's smart. Unlike a certain thing called Netflix, I'm always gonna be salty. But um, the only reason I want another movie is so they can answer the one question. But I'm not like, I'm really not gonna be that sad if they don't. But I don't know. I'm curious on how much they're gonna make after all that. I mean, they didn't they already make some profit by now? You said 200 and how much million?
So they made 280 million total, but people got
So
to
they made 80
realize,
million
well,
profit.
no, they haven't made anything yet because production
Oh yeah, they
budget and
oh yeah,
marketing budget are two entirely different things. If a,
you're right.
the normal figures that most experts run by, if a movie costs 200 million to make, the company's going to put 200 million in to market it, if not more. Because I
Dang.
remember when Endgame was coming out, they said the movie cost twice as much to market as it did to make, and that movie cost like 220 million to make. So,
Batman went over $750 million
oh yeah, dude,
globally.
Batman's killing it.
Whoo!
754 million. Whatever this
Jeez.
Watergate Bridge is, destroyed. It's a foreign film. It made 117,000 domestically, 626 million foreign at the international market.
Jeez.
I have no clue what this thing is, but the sequel to the Battle at Lake Changjin. But man, this movie killed it.
Wait, what was it called again?
It's called Watergate Bridge. It's the second highest grossing movie of 2022. Yeah, domestically, so in
Really?
America, it made $117,000. Internationally, it made 626 million.
I never heard of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It
What
made
the
it
heck?
opened to 154 million in China back in February.
Jeez.
Yeah, so far it's grossed all but $200,000 of its budget. Oh, sorry. So far, of its $226.2 million, it's made 226 flat in China.
Jeez.
So it's pretty much just all China. So,
Yeah.
but China
What was
is
the
like,
budget?
oh, I have no clue. I don't know if anyone would know that shit. Title
Jeez.
summary. Hey, it opened to $42,000.
Jeez. Huh.
That's funny. But for reference, yeah. So 76.1% of Fantastic Beasts' total worldwide haul is international. In comparison, shit, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry. In
Wait,
comparison, 50% of Sonic's money is coming from America.
dang. Batman was 185 million. It's already made almost, what was it, four times the production budget figure.
Oh yeah,
But
Batman's made
then
its money.
obviously you got marketing too, but yeah.
Batman
Still,
made its money.
they definitely made their money on that.
Batman made more money in its opening weekend than I think Fantastic Beasts is going to make in its entire domestic run.
Yeah.
Like I
It's because
don't.
they put a bad taste in everyone's mouth in that second one. I mean, the third one isn't really like it's definitely better, but after the second one being the way it was, it really just I don't think everyone was excited for this one.
See, I
So
mean, I would have to say it's hard for this movie to be worse, but if we do look at some of the critical reaction, man, it just doesn't seem like it's better. Rotten Tomatoes 47, Metacritic 47, both of those are lower than The Crimes of Grindelwald.
that's surprising.
It's like, and again, critic ratings are, they're not the end all be all of the world, but they do have some sort of stance in terms of quality.
Yeah.
Like I generally there are very few movies that I've ever watched that I look at a critical rating and like that's just completely and utterly wrong. Most of them like that's a little low, nah that's a little high. There's very few movies where I'm like that's just wrong. That's not right in my opinion. What that critical reception is.
I can't remember. There was a movie I watched where it was like just absurdly low, or it was lower than like another movie that was clearly,
Oh,
worse.
we talked about this a couple
Oh yeah,
episodes
with
ago.
the Morbius thing, we were like, yeah,
I forgot what it is though, if I'm being honest.
I think it was like something about like Venom and that, and like they were like, oh, and like Justice League was clearly. So I still want to go see Morbius. I don't want to see it in theaters, but I'm gonna see it because I really want to see why it's so bad. I mean, literally, what was it? It was like 14% or something like
Let's
that. It was
see.
super low.
Let's see what it's at now. It was at 17. It's now at 16.
Oh my gosh, how? I mean, that has to be so bad. I mean, that bad to the point where it's lower than like what Suicide Squad, lower than Justice League, lower than both the Venom movies. It must be that bad. Like I don't know.
Now,
I want to go see it though. Still,
its Metacritic is a little bit more favorable. Its Metacritic sits at 35%.
huh? I'm interested. I still want to see it though.
What?
What?
Not the thing is being dumb. Oh, I spelled league
Oh,
wrong. That's why I did.
oh,
I was like, it said Justice League didn't exist. I'm like, what? Yes. Yeah. Metacritic for Justice League is a 45, so still 10 points worse.
yeah.
And the Rotten Tomatoes for Justice League, I believe, is also in. I think it's actually in the 20s. So we're talking about bad movies here. We're talking about very bad
Yeah.
movies.
And
No,
I will
well,
admit that score is right because Justice
39
League, the
actually.
regular
39 actually.
thing. Okay.
See, here's the thing. Yeah. Okay. So I'll see. They have Justice League better than Batman v Superman. That's wrong in my opinion.
Yeah, that is wrong.
I think Justice League is an awful movie. Now here's the thing.
It
I
is.
I also think they're wrong. They have Man of Steel at a 56. I quite enjoy Man of Steel a lot. I think Man of Steel is actually a pretty good movie.
Oh, I think so too.
They have Iron Man 3 at 79. I would say Man of Steel is better than Iron Man 3. I don't like Iron Man 3 that much though. So.
Yeah, I might agree with you
Oh,
on that.
speaking of that, what'd you think about Trevor's role in Shang-Chi?
Oh yes, I love that. I thought that was hilarious. I like how they finally explained that whole arc
Yeah, I thought
because
it
so
was
many
great.
people were so mad. Did you know on Disney Plus they have a short that actually explains his story
Yeah, I saw that
that
a
you can
bunch of the
watch?
shorts. I haven't gone through and watched them yet.
I actually want to watch it because I still haven't yet, but I thought it was pretty funny, and it was interesting to learn more about that and actually learn who the real Mandarin is, in reality. So yeah, it was cool. I thought it was really funny too.
I'm looking up one more thing before we go on and head out. So the Will Smith Suicide Squad has a 26. So Morbius is 10 points worse than Suicide Squad. It is, however, 7 points higher than the Fan 4 Stick. God, I hate that movie so
The
much.
Phantom Force stick. Oh no. Oh, that movie was so bad. I actually seen that movie too at the drive-in. And I think it was that, and then it was I think Deadpool at the time. I don't remember whatever movie it was out at that time, but man, yeah, that movie. Uh, personally, that movie makes the other Fantastic Four movies look amazing. So,
All right,
yeah,
here is one of the movies that I think the critics just got completely and utterly wrong. Tell me what you believe the Rotten Tomato score is for Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Star Wars Election. Ooh, I'm sure they're gonna rate it higher than what I expect, but I'm gonna say 55%.
So hold on, before I give you the answer, I'm actually gonna pull up. So you say 55. What do you think the Rotten Tomato score is for The Rise of Skywalker? Which I think they actually got generally close to. I don't agree with it again, but generally close to.
Oh, what do I think that got?
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
Well, if you said it's close, I guess 60%.
Okay, so The Rise of Skywalker is a 52%. The Last
Okay.
Jedi is a 91.
Oh, that is so wrong.
That's one of those that I'm like, that's just wrong. I'm sorry. That is very, very, very wrong. I
I
think
don't get how.
I still think 52 is a little high for The Rise of Skywalker. I fucking despise The Rise of Skywalker, man. So much. I think it is far and away. Well, no, not far and away. It's not the worst. The worst is episode 2, but
I don't get why you think that one's the worst. I think personally, the worst one obviously will always be, clearly mine is always gonna be 8. I just think that's the worst Star Wars movie of all time.
I don't
I
I don't dislike the
dislike that movie.
I don't dislike The Last Jedi as much as you do.
It's just bad. Just one long chase scene with a bunch of annoying
Oh,
characters, not
I
even
don't say it's good.
focusing.
I don't think it's good.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I don't think it's good at all, but I don't think it's as bad as you do. I think The Rise of Skywalker is significantly worse than The Last Jedi in terms of its job of being a sequel. Because that's what its job was being a sequel, and it wasn't a sequel. To be fair, none of these movies were a sequel. Well, that's not true. The Last Jedi was actually a sequel to The Force Awakens. It was just a really shitty sequel.
Yeah, and basically ruining characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will give you a spoiler for when we talk about Star Wars. This is exactly what I think in terms of all the prequels. All right? Original
Yep.
trilogy. Or sorry, in terms of all the trilogies. Original trilogy, God tier. I mean, they're amazing. The worst movie in that movie is still better than all of them, pretty much any other one. And when I say worst, I mean my least favorite.
I will disagree on that, but
What do you
that's
mean?
my opinion.
You disagree with them being God tier?
No, I disagree in the worst one being better than all the other ones.
Oh yeah, that's right. You like episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Like out of all of them.
Uh,
Definitely my favorite. I've watched that movie a million
Blows my mind.
times.
Okay.
Still love it.
The prequel movies, the prequel trilogy, bad movies, good Star Wars. Not good Star Wars movies, good Star Wars. I'm talking about story, narrative, all these other things. Sequel trilogy, bad movies, bad Star Wars.
Other than Force Awakens.
Other than The Force Awakens, they're an outlier in both of those. What I mean by that is Force Awakens, I think, is a good movie, decent Star Wars. It's okay, it's repetitive, it's redundant, but it is decent Star Wars. And Episode 3, I think, decent movie, still good Star Wars. I don't think it's as bad as the other two. And the reason I put Episode 2 before Episode 1 is for literally one scene that Episode 2 doesn't have. Episode 2 has nothing in the entire movie that even comes close to the Duel of the Fates.
No, that's fair.
Now, that's the only reason why I put 1 above 2. Because it does
Oh,
2 doesn't have anything like that.
I think 1 and 2 are equal for me. I think they are both okay.
But the Rise of Skywalker is right after those.
I think the only thing in 1 that makes it okay for me is Darth Maul. That's it. Darth Maul is the only part of that movie that I'm like,
well, that's what I mean. Like,
cool.
yeah, the Duel of the Fates, like.
Yeah.
But again, we're getting a little too far into this because we want to go in depth on it later.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm saying is like, the prequels had a plan. They told a cohesive story. It may not have been well-made movies, but the story is good. The sequels didn't have a plan.
They connect very well.
Yeah, the sequels didn't have a plan, didn't have a story, didn't do anything, fucking told nothing, started 18 different storylines, ditched half of them, started 2 more, ditched those 2, started a storyline mid-movie, ditched that, completely changed a character that we knew and loved, and it was like, no, just kidding, he's fine. Oh my god, I hate those movies so fucking much.
And then pull a Game of Thrones and hype up these Knights of Ren that are the most lame, cool looking characters of all time.
Alright. Anything else you want to talk about, Fantastic Beasts?
Nope.
Alright, well, let's move into the review roundup for the couple weeks that we were out. On April 12th, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim came out on Nintendo Switch. You got an 89, which is actually 6 points higher than when it originally came out in 2020. I'm dying.
Don't die on us.
April 14th, Cat Cafe Manager came out on Switch and PC, got a 62. Nobody Saves the World came out on PS5, PS4, got an 80. Road 96 came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and got a 77. I'm still dying over here, man. April 20th saw Star Wars The Force Unleashed get its Switch port and score a 66. Postal 4 No Regrets came out on PC and got a 31. That's rough. April 21st saw Chernobyl Light come out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S and get a 77. Trolley Problem Incorporated came out on PC, got an 85. MotoGP 22 came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch and PC and got an 80. Teardown came out on PC, got an 83. Any response you have to any of those?
Postal 4.
Yeah.
Game.
Not a good one, apparently.
Yeah, I actually watched a review on that, and those games have always been really weird. So it definitely, I think it deserves that score. But Road 96, though, happy to hear that it got a 77. Again, I really want to play that game.
Yeah, me too, same. 13 Sentinels Aegis is a game that I really, really want to play because it's apparently one of the best video game stories in recent memory. but it's just like it's
What
just
is it?
it's 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. It came out last year or 2 years ago on PS4. It was a PS4 exclusive, and everyone raved about
Oh,
how amazing the story was. But it has a kind of a visual style, and well, okay, it has a visual style that I'm cool with. But it's just the gameplay. I watch things. I'm like, it just
oh,
doesn't seem like it's
that.
for me. But everyone says the story and the characters in this game are immaculate.
Huh.
I'm not gonna say it's the greatest of all time, but everyone tells me, and the people that I trust say this is a really freaking good story. And I'm like, that makes me want to play it, but
The art design is what's making me not really excited. It's really weird.
by the
It's
way,
like
what you
I don't
doing?
know.
Added me on fucking TikTok, bro.
Oh, TikTok. Hey, you added me. It said you added
Oh,
me.
that's it. I did. That's because
Yeah.
I was tired of sending videos through Facebook. I was like, can we just send them directly on TikTok?
Yeah, I finally got a TikTok, like finally, because I've always just waited for Amy to show me memes. So I finally downloaded it, gave it a try. I mean, it's okay. I've been using it
Well,
occasionally. I mostly still use YouTube, but yeah,
the more you use it, the more the things that you like come out. So that's what I'm at a point that I get a whole bunch of cool video game stuff and all that coming all the way through. And there's an occasional hot girl dancing, but whatever.
that's pretty much what happened to me at the beginning. It was basically thirst traps like constantly, and then now finally it's actually funny stuff
Yeah.
because I've liked a lot of the funny stuff. So it's starting to recognize like, hey, you clearly don't want to see thirst traps all day. So
Yeah.
let's show you some funny stuff. I'm like, sweet, cool.
Yes. Yeah. Send me some stuff because I'll send you some stuff. Anyway, okay. Moving on. Oh, do you want to move on? I was okay. Wow, that was scatterbrained. Jesus fuck. Uh, did you, there was a part of me that really wanted to go out and buy The Force Unleashed again for Switch, but I was like, man, I have it on like 8 different consoles. I love the game. I think it's
Yeah,
great, but so instead I sat down and watched the playthrough of it.
I bet Amy would like that Cat Cafe game.
Your wife
But
likes
yeah,
some weird shit, man. I did
I know.
when she told me that The Rise of Skywalker was her favorite Star Wars movie. I almost blew a gasket.
It hurts a little bit.
It hurts a lot. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You remember,
What was it? I can't.
I am friends with your wife. I knew her before
I
you,
know. I
so
know.
it hurts me quite a bit. I'm the one that introduced her to movies, like in like the way that you and me watch movies. I'm the one that kind of introduced her to that idea of how to watch a movie properly. So it hurts me a lot that Rise of Skywalker is her favorite Star Wars movie.
It's okay. I'll mold her to like a better one. Star Wars 3.
It is
The
better.
best
So
one.
I'm
It
not.
is. It
It's
is.
not the best one, but it is better than Rise. Not hard to be better than a dog shit movie.
Hey, if it makes you happy, well, dang, I'm kind of jumping early to a topic, but I'm still gonna spoil it anyways. My second favorite was the fifth movie, Empire Strikes Back. That is
It's
definitely
incredible.
my second favorite.
All right.
So
I'm gonna talk to DJ and see if we can start figuring this thing out. So when we
yeah,
move, because I want to do it to like where we watch them on our own, and then we talk about them to like so they're like fresh. Maybe we can do them like
yeah.
on Saturday nights because I'm free Saturday nights. So anyway, all right. Anything else on Trolley Problem Inc. for PC?
Uh, nope.
It got an 85, so apparently it's really good.
Wait, what is that?
I have no clue. All right,
Oh,
you can look that up when I read it. Out this week
okay.
on April 26th, Zombie Army 4: Dead War comes out for the Nintendo Switch. On April 27th, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt comes out on PS5 and PC. Then on April 26th, Xbox Series X and S and Switch users finally get to play the masterpiece that is Bugsnax. It actually is really cool. I would give it. It's a very unique game. It's I never went through and beat it, but I played it for like 4 or 5 hours. It was interesting, but it is pretty cool. It's a first-person game.
That's fair.
Bet you didn't expect that. Anyway, Dorfromantic comes out on PC, also April 28th. Rogue Legacy comes out on Xbox Series X and S and PC. Unsold comes out on Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. And then finally, on April 29th, Nintendo Switch Sports comes out on, well, Nintendo Switch.
Oh man, I'm very excited. I cannot wait for Nintendo Switch Sports. Actually, I don't know why I'm so excited for it, but I am very excited for it.
All right.
I'm also excited for our fantasy. So
Yeah. Oh, speaking of fantasy, I wanted to challenge you real quick. What do you predict this game gets in the fantasy score?
85.
74.
That's fair.
I think I'm going to like this game a lot. I don't think it's going to score that well. Maybe it takes me by surprise. Maybe this game is like immaculately made, but I think it's going to be another Wii Sports, which is a great game, but that's not a game that scores very well, you know? I'm trying to separate my excitement for what I think the game's going to actually score.
What's that one game? What was that one weird game? It was like 501 game on Switch. What was it called?
I have no clue.
It was like a bunch of I don't remember. Okay. Well, never mind. It's this one game that had like a bunch of like it had like a kind of bowling on it and some other things, and I think it scored pretty well. But so I don't know. I have pretty high hopes for it, and I think 85 is a reasonable score to look forward to. Heck, maybe he'll do even more than that, but
Okay.
I hope
So
85.
I typed in 501 Switch on Google.
Yeah.
No video games came up.
I don't think that's the name of it. It's something
However,
about
a
board games.
Syntron FMC J50 and J1 rocker switch did show up. So, and then a Norton
What?
501 activating door switch came up. So that's cool. Okay. Anything else before we get out of here?
I also am pretty excited for that Stanley Parable game. I've always wanted to play it. So
Yeah.
and finally coming
finally
to
come to
console,
consoles,
like
yeah.
holy crap! But yeah. Oh, there it is. The Clubhouse games, 51 worldwide classics. What did that score?
I don't know. While you look that up, I'm gonna do the outro, right?
Okay.
All right, with that, this brings us to the end of the show. Everyone who has either been watching or listening, we just want to take this time and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we could not do what we're trying to do here, so please help us continue to grow by telling people how either awesome we are or how cringy you are or whatever. Tell people out there that you enjoy listening to us here at the Experience Points and the XP Podcast. Logan.
Oh, yep. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm so lost right now. I was looking at the thing. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to us. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Either working out, at work, etc. As always, I think me and Mike very much appreciate you guys come by, stop by, listen to us. And as always, just if you'd like to give us any critiques on how we're doing and everything, you can always put a comment in the comment section. And as always, if you would like to support us, we do have a Patreon. Obviously, we don't expect you guys to do it, but if you would like to support us, as always, it's in the link down below our video. And also, Clubhouse got an 81, so or 82, I guess. So that's not bad.
There's
And
hope.
that's just a very, very basic game. So I mean, if that can get that,
Yeah, okay.
then maybe
There's more hope for you than I thought. So
yeah.
anyway, once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us on this journey that we're trying to take. I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll talk to y'all in the next one. See you guys.
See you guys.